Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of the newsletter workshop. Let me come over here and share my screen with you. You should be seeing this intro slide. Can everybody see my screen? Let me find the chat over here. It's going to break up for a minute, but I want to make sure that I get this recording off right. And the reason why is because people are signing on like every second here. So that's perfect. So yes, you can see me. My camera's on. We can see the slide over here. How the heck is everybody doing today? Have the chat here. Let me know. I can see the chat. Good, 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 good. Ready to roll. Awesome stuff. Okay. Well, I'm super excited for this one because everything has led up to what you're about to discover on today. And actually, the big kahuna is on Friday, and that's when we have our big reveal. Nobody has seen what I'm about to show you on Friday on the third session, so it's super, super important that we get everything done on today's call. Okay, so the first thing is I want to make sure that everybody has joined the Facebook group. Type in the chat here. Let me know, is everybody inside of the group? You can go to the link that you see right there on the screen. Brittany, if you would please put it in the chat. And by the way, while everybody is joining the group, we're going to come over here. We're going to do a roll call. But I just wanted to go ahead and give a big shout out to Miss Brittany, Russell, Angie, Trisha, Sherry Bell, Fatima, and let's see, we also have Paulo here. We have Garv here. Who am I missing here, Brittany? I know I'm missing one person for some reason.
We've got Coffee, Kachal, Vivek, and they're also on the call.
We have the lead developers on the call. I just want to make sure if I missed anybody at all, I apologize. But I appreciate everybody that's helping us here on the call. And they're mainly here to assist you all to make sure that you guys get the support that you need. So you can see if I go ahead and refresh this here, I just made this post a little while ago saying roll call, who's here? Session number 2, where we're going to do the actual build out today. So there's been 39 comments. It's great. Hello, Loretta, Karen King. Let's see. Bella's here. Karen's here. Sienna's here. Connie Miller. Shauna Stevenson. Hey, Shauna. Alan's here. Adriana. Michelle is ready. George is here. Lori Hyde. Julia Boljak. Kathy Nielsen. Priscilla Brooks. Cindy Erickson. Samantha Kate. Ben Holt. Mark Shalinsky. Jenny's here. Philip, if I don't say your last names because I can't pronounce it. Olive Oliver, Keith Fields, David Green, Dina's here, Angie's in the house. Good, good, good. It's still coming in. This is a call. What we do, you want to make sure that you come in here is because we go back around and we actually see who was on that call. And don't be surprised if you get a surprise message from us because we're acknowledging the people that are taking action. So please come in here. Now we're up to 53 comments. Please do your roll call. It's super, super important. Now, let me just kind of let you know this, okay? On the first session, we didn't use the group. On this session here, you're going to use this group a lot. So I need to make sure that you guys are inside of this group. I don't want to say we're going to ignore the Zoom chat because it's super, super convenient. We can get answers really quick. But for the most part, we're going to be working in the group today. Okay, so Brittany, if you would just go ahead and type that link in there one more time for everybody to join the group, because I don't want anybody to be left out. Okay. In addition to that, I also want everybody to know that we've already got the replays posted. It's on our replay doc, and Brittany's going to post a link for that now as well. So if you missed session 1, it's okay. You still got enough time where you can go ahead and get caught up. Brittany did an amazing job really summarizing everything that we covered in session number 1. Everybody should have total clarity now on their newsletter, the opportunity to monetize. We'll kind of cover that here in a second, but make sure that everybody was aware of the resource doc here. And you're going to find the same exact thing on today's call. Okay, so if you session number 1, let me just very quickly tell you that this is a 3-day workshop. and it is set up to get you a specific outcome. It's not just for you to show up and put together the pieces yourself. We're going to do some things today. Obviously, participation is required. I'm going to ask you to be pushing buttons today. So can everybody type in the chat? Are y'all in 110%? Are you willing to push some buttons? We're dealing with software. I already know that there's going to be some technical options. There always is, but we're going to get everybody to the finish line, and we have this amazing team here to help you and make sure you can get there. As I said, we're also going to be asking a lot of questions in the group, so please get engaged. Be as excited as I am on this call, okay? We've got a lot to cover today, so I'm not going to bring anybody on for live questions or anything else. If we have time, we'll do it at the end. If we need more time, then we will schedule a Q&A session just for that, because I don't want to have any interruptions today, because I got to get everybody to the finish line. And then it's very important, even today, you're going to have some homework. And remember, our big goal is to mail you one of these certificates right here in the mail with another special invitation and a little for you. So I'm trying really, really hard to get everybody to the finish line. Now, before we get started, obviously, we're going to be pushing some buttons today. So here's what I need you to do. If I say push buttons, I don't mean that I'm going to be irritated and driving you nuts. What I'm saying is we're actually going to be using the software today. So type in the chat here, yes or no. How many of you have access to the Letterman software? Good, good. Let me just make sure. Let me check in with my team over here. I want to make sure that they are watching this chat here, because if you do not have access to this software, then what I need you to do is I need you to go ahead and put your hand up, okay? So on the Zoom console, you should be able to click this button that says raise hands, and the team is sitting here looking at those hand raises, and they're going to reach out to you, and they're going to have a personal dialogue with you. So look for that message the minute that you raise your hand, okay? Does everybody understand that? I want to make sure everybody gets it. Everybody that does not have access to software, you're on this call, you should have access to it. Let me see if we got some hand raises. How are we looking here, Brittany?
Looking good. Looks like John from the first call. We had some trouble getting a hold of him on the first call, but Anna's already working with him. Otherwise, I'm scrolling through the chat and I'm not seeing anybody else who needs it.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we should be good there.
Perfect. Okay, good. Let me just send you this message, Brittany. I want to make sure our whole entire team, everybody in our organization is on this call. It's a very, very important call. Okay, good. So again, we don't want anybody to be missing their software. Now, how many of you did your homework? Type in the chat, let me know who did their assignment, who did their homework. I was talking to the kids the other day, and we were talking about how much we hate homework and everything, but how necessary it is to get to the finish line, right? Well, our homework's kind of fun as opposed to the and all the stuff that we were having to try to figure out the other day, right? How many of you are now clear on your niche? Perry gave you some amazing, great insight on niche validation, the kind of niches you want to go after, the ones that you want to avoid, where the money is, the ones that are kind of a nuisance and a waste of your time. We shared a lot of experience with you. Let me just look at the comments here just for a minute. And Tammy, don't just comment. You got to put your hand up and she will get to you. So Eric says, yes, clear on the niche. Kathleen is niche. Good, 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 good. I'm going to say it again. If you don't have access to the software, raise your hands. The comments are flying. Okay, good. Crystal clear. Waldemar says, good, good, good. Okay, this is really important. Now, I shared with you before my belief on the MVP, which at the last event we did, the last live event we did, somebody, when I asked them what does MVP mean, somebody actually said it was the most valuable player. I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. But what MVP means in my world is minimum viable product or minimum viable process. Can I get everybody on the call to type in the chat MVP? MVP, MVP, MVP. And what that means is you're here to learn how this software works, understand the overall strategy, discover how fast you can do this, how fun this can be, And understand it doesn't have to be perfect right now. You got time to make it perfect, but let's not focus on making it perfect. Let's focus on getting the first one out there, okay? Monetization plan. How many of you now, Perry, so many amazing monetization strategies. How many of you now have a good idea about how you're going to monetize, how you're going to make money with your newsletter? It doesn't matter if it's affiliate marketing, if it's Amazon products, if it's doing solos, if it's going out there and finding sponsors, or the big kahuna is getting acquired someday. But every single one of you should be thinking about these things. Not only that, you heard him say, I recommend that you go subscribe to many newsletters out there so that you can see how they monetize as well. And look for those things. Read those newsletters, pay attention to what they're doing, pay attention to where they're sending you. This all has to do with monetization because they would not be sending you out emails and newsletters if they were not monetizing because it costs money to do that. And the method that they're doing, it costs a lot of money. Okay. How about branding? Who went and created their logo and you're all set, you're ready to rock and roll, you got your header done, type in the chat, let me know, because we're going to take a look at that here in a minute. And I'm hoping, is Perry on the call right now, Brittany?
He is not.
Okay, well, we're gonna take a look at your logos here in a second. And he didn't have access to that group, so I said, it's okay. We're actually going to be reviewing those logos on the call today. And then finally, we want to make sure that everybody has their software all built out for today. Because very quickly, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna create our publication. Now, this is a little bit different than creating your newsletter. Your publication's like the bank that controls all of your newsletters. Now, is that politically correct or whatever? I don't know, but that's what we called it because there's two different distinctions. A newsletter goes out every single day, but what we do is we go create the core publication that keeps cranking out those newsletters. I'll explain this as we get further along. We're also going to talk about your sending schedule. I'm going to do everything I can to make super simple for you. This is based on literally, I don't know, probably hundreds of thousands of clicks of us analyzing the best days to send and open times. And then there's litmus tests and there's all kinds of cool stuff. And then we're going to spend most of the day building out our first newsletter, which is why I wanted to make sure that everybody had their header done. Go ahead and type the chat here. Who does not have their header done? I saw a comment there by Miss Sandra Harper. She said 600 new subscribers to my newsletter in the last 2 weeks. That's amazing, Sandra. Congratulations. I know we spent some time talking at the 60-day SaaS event. I'm happy and thrilled to see your success. So Richard says, I don't. Sherry says, I'm working on it. Okay, here's what I need. Do not let this stop you today. Go on Google, type in whatever. I don't care what you want to find. You can even type in newsletter header. You can type in temporary logo. Heck, you can go take the Starbucks logo for right now. I don't care. We're just going to use just to get through this demo, okay? Just to get your first newsletter created. Never syndicate that out. You won't send it. Nobody will get in trouble. But I don't want anybody stopped today. Rick, are you hearing me? Graham, are you hearing me? Is everybody hearing me right now? Let's not let anything stop you today. Okay? So that's where we're at here, guys. So let's go ahead and take a look. Let me know the minute that Perry hops on the call here, Brittany, because he told me he would be here for this part. I'd really like to get his help here. And don't get stuck on header dimensions or anything. All this stuff here will stop you guys. It'll stop you in your tracks because I'm telling you right now that if we go and look at our newsletters and if we look at our headers, they're all different sizes. None of them are the same. So there's no science to this. It's not like, okay, you got to have to get somebody to open or get better delivery. Because when we get it in the newsletter, we're going to be able to shrink it down anyways. Okay, so don't get too caught up in that, right? So let's come on over here. If you're not inside the group, Brittany, if you would just go ahead and drop that chat one more time. Go ahead and drop that chat one more time for me. Good. There's a roll call. All right, that looks a little bit better. Now we're starting to blow it up. All right. Let's come down here and let's see where these logos start coming in. Okay. So I'm going to get off this announcement tab here. We're going to come over here to discussions. I saw some incredible stuff. Matter of fact, I couldn't even keep up. Uh, everything that was happening here, right? So Rich says, my first pass at a header, Innovator's Edge. Good job. Make sure you guys comment on these logos here, right? Julia says, uplift every day, learn, launch, elevate. Awesome. Love it, love it, love it. I like this one right here. Philip says, channel lightning. Look at this here. I'd be curious how you created this, Philip, if you used AI, or if you did like Perry showed you with Canva. What did you do for that? That's awesome. Let's see, Karen King, destination freedom. Good, 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 good. Cindy Erickson. Now I really, really love this one, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. And Cindy, what did you use to create this? I'm just curious. Just go ahead and type in the chat. Let me know. Because the reason why I love it is because it's on white. So everything that we've seen so far has a black background or color. This one has white, which is pretty good. But this one right here is really, really great. And it has that viral feel to it. It's a fun newsletter, right? And a lot of the things that we figured out with newsletters, guys, the fun stuff is like the quizzes and the Q&A and the secret hacks and the trivia question. Like all that stuff is the viral part that makes your newsletter fun, because the rest is going to be generated from AI. And what we like to do is we like to actually take original content, combine with AI, combine with some of the fun viral stuff that we have inside the tool. Is that making sense to everybody? Especially when we start talking about local newsletters, right? A lot of that, when there's a new restaurant that opens up, there's an event taking place this weekend or something like that, of course, we're able to use AI to go and rewrite the links and everything. But we can also do these spotlights on certain businesses. And what happens is other businesses start reaching out to us saying, hey, how do I get me one of these spots? Well, of course, it's not free. So now guess what? Now we're monetizing with local advertisers, right? So a lot of opportunity here, but that's great. Let's see, short legs, big heart. So what's going to happen is, I think it's a great logo, but what you're probably going to want to do is cut this down so that you don't have as much space on the top. Is everybody kind of seeing this right now? Think about it. You're going to open up, somebody's going to open up this email on their phone, right? That's essentially what this newsletter is to be read on the phone, to be consumed on the phone. And look at all the extra space here and here, right? So it's going to push the content all the way down. Seriously cute. I would totally, great logo, just got too much space here. And by the way, somebody said, what tool did you just use? That was Snagit. It was just Snagit. There's Jing. There's all kinds of capture tools. Just cut that part out, right? Let's see, there's another good one because it's on a white background. So you can see it says pet health, right? It's great. Love this logo. Love the fact that it's fun. It's personal. How many of you can see the personal touch behind that logo? It doesn't have that big corporate feel or anything. It has a fun touch, like somebody actually created this from their home, right? I think that works really, really well for this. Let's go down here. There's another kind of feel, right? Aussie Tales Tribune. A lot of dog newsletters, which is awesome, right? My significant other here, she is rebranding her local community because she's all excited about everything that we're doing with newsletters and everything. And she learned how to use the software as well. If she wasn't picking up the kids, she was on this call, but she'll watch the replay. But these are the logos that she's working on. I think one of them was Mid-Journey. I think our designer did another one. And what she's doing is she's asking you guys which one's best. And then she's going through her local community and using it for engagement and getting a lot of feedback on that, right? So this is going to be for a local community newsletter here in Summerlin, Nevada. Let's see. Mir has Maltipoo Chronicles. There's another dog newsletter. You guys and your dogs. I still haven't seen one on cats yet. Not one yet. Let's see. Career Booth. Good, good. Has a nice official feel to it. It has this badge here, this seal, right? has authority behind it. Awesome stuff. Let's see. Randy, there we go again with Randy. Okay, lavishly alive. Okay, so we take this, Randy, and what we want to do is we want to get rid of all this excessive header here. Okay, is that making sense? That's the size that you want to have here, guys. All right, that's the size that you want to have. What's going to happen is you're going to pull it into the tool and it's going to be really, really big, and you're going to shrink it down, and then you're eventually going to say, it would be better if it was more lengthwise, right? More horizontal, right? It's horizontal, not vertical, right? Do I got that right, or did I confuse that, Brittany?
You got it right.
Okay, yeah, you want it to be more horizontal and not so tall, right? Because they're opening up on their phone. And so they're gonna see this really tall logo up here and they're gonna have to scroll. They gotta get past all your padding. Then this is all extra space when you could have this over here. And honestly, this gold with this black over here, have alive and then lavishly over here in black would look just great as well. And you could still leave this here, right? But I am certainly not a branding expert at all. That's more Perry's department. Let's see. Michelle says high school sports photography. This is awesome. Do we have Perry here yet, Brittany?
No, but I have messaged him again.
Okay, that's okay. I know he had something come up, so it's okay. AJ, let's see what AJ's doing. So he's asking for recommendations. By the way, this is a great way. This is a great way to use this community. If you're not sure, or if you're stuck in the middle, or if you're like Connie did, like she's like, I can't even decide which one I want, then come in here and make a post like this and ask us, right? So if we look at this, this is too much. AJ, do you now understand why this is too much? So what you want to have is you want to come over here, and I can't do it, but you can do it on yours. You want to have about like this, right? That's all you want to have for your logo. Is this making sense to everybody? Type in the chat, let me know if you're getting this right now. So we have this beautiful picture, but look how far somebody would have to scroll down. So we don't want to be doing that, right? Okay. And so if I look at a lot of these, we're going to have the same exact thing. Even this one right here, you got too much. I mean, it might be okay, but look, you got a lot of stuff happening up here where all this extra grass and everything, you could probably move this up higher. Trust me, it's the fact that your readers need to see the content is more important than your design for the logo. Does that make sense? I want to make sure everybody gets this right now. And remember, guys, this is beautiful. It has a very, very commercial feel to it, very nice homey feel. You spent a lot of work in it, or AI did an amazing job. I'd be really curious. How many of you would be curious to know what AJ used to do this? I'd be really curious what he used, because it's beautiful. But remember, less is more. The more simple things are, the more people understand them. This is super, super busy for a newsletter. Now, let me tell you something that I don't believe we got out that does very, very well for a newsletter. What is the newsletter replacing? And you heard Perry say it. What's it replacing? Newspapers. Newspapers. So what we want to do, and Perry did a great job telling you how to do this with Canva, is we want these logos to be very, very simple. So it looks like something that could be on a newspaper or a magazine or something else, right? But I'm not putting this down by I think it's very, very beautiful, right? Okay, there. That's exactly what I was talking about. Melissa nailed it, but she also really, really knows what she's doing. She's a very smart marketer. If you don't believe me, just hop on one of our calls one of these times and look at what she's doing with her funnels and her products that she makes from home and everything else, right? But this logo here and this little clip art that she's got down here with this border and everything, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. How many of you are looking at that right now and you're starting to understand that, okay, now I understand what he's saying? Because your newsletter, yeah, you might have some, you don't want to put too many of them in there, but your newsletter is mainly going to be black and white, folks. So we don't want, believe it or not, we don't want the logo to take away what we're trying to get people to do. And somebody tell me, what are we trying to get people to do with the newsletter? The first goal was get them to open. Now we got them to open, right? But now we want to get them to ultimately click. Remember, the people that are going to come in and acquire you one day, they want the clicks. Yeah, they want the opens, but they want the clicks. If you can go to one of those companies and say, look, man, every time I send out an email or whatever, I'm getting 20,000, 50,000 clicks or whatever. Guess what? You got a big check coming your way. So we want to get the clicks. So don't make the logo, there's Mr. Belcher, don't make the logo so attractive that it takes away from your goal. Is that making sense to everybody? And this logo right here, absolutely beautiful, absolutely perfect, serves that purpose. Mr. Perry. I saw him sign on.
Yeah, he should be
There you
able.
go.
There
There
we
we
go.
go. I was mooted.
Hey,
As
Chief, how you doing?
every woman I've ever known in my life has tried to do that, but Brittany figured out how to finally do it.
Oh my God. How's
How
it
are you
going?
doing?
Good, man. Good. We're taking a look at everybody's homework and looking at their logos.
Good. That one looks nice.
Yeah, you like this?
Yeah.
I'm curious. So let's see what Perry says up here compared to what I just said. So AJ is asking for recommendations here. Perry, what would you say about his header?
I think it's too big.
Like too tall?
Yeah, I think the top if you could knock out everything where the building is and all that, if you just knock out that part right there, you'd probably be fine. You don't want to have that big of a graphic, by the way. Don Crowther entered the waiting room. Wow. Don Crowther, how you doing, buddy? I haven't heard from you in 100 years. Yeah, if I would knock out I'd knock out that bottom part, and actually I'd probably knock the background out of that for you and just use that banner. It seems to look a little better, but you don't want to use a very heavy graphic in there because using heavy graphics in email tends to reduce your deliverability success. Because Google, you got to remember, Google is sending this stuff out, right? They have to pay a lot of bandwidth money to send email. You don't think about it, but I mean, fractions of a penny an email for serving larger graphics or serving bad code or whatever. That really adds up. If you're a Google sending billions and billions and billions of emails a day, so they're not gonna, they don't like that very much.
How many of you are kind of shocked right now that both he and I, everything you said is exactly what I just said about that image there.
Yeah,
But
you don't want to do that.
I also thought it was beautiful, man. Look at this
I
one.
like that. Actually, I like the one to the right better. And you can change out that text pretty easy with Canva. You have to play with it a little bit, but you could change that text out. You could just black that text out in Canva and retype the text. I really like that with a header and a footer, but I don't like that light green background behind it. I just like the freestanding part. Do you want me to show them how to knock stuff out in Canva?
You can if you want to. I don't know. Why don't you ask them? Why don't you ask them their call?
Let me grab that real quick.
Yeah, why don't you set that up and I'll let's look at
You
some.
keep going. Oh, well, put that back up and let me screenshot that real quick, Chad.
Okay.
That way I've, 1 second. Where I can grab one of those to manipulate. Okay, carry on, and I'll come back when I've got that done, and I'll back up and show them how I did it. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. So we looked at Melissa's. Here's some more dog. Man, everybody's all about the dog newsletters, right? So good. So Brian's asking for opinions. What do you guys think? If you'll give him some insight here, do you like number 1, number 2, or number 3? Which one? I like number 1 myself. I don't know why, but everybody's got a different opinion here. I just think number 1, the dog waving and everything is just as effective as somebody actually looking at the camera, right? For some reason, that one was friendly to me. I'm sure that Perry would have some advice on a better font that you could use, maybe. But all in all, man, it's great to get started. He put the little trademark thing here. It's awesome, right? He's off to the races. he can certainly start with that. Joanne, she says, Ricky here trying again. Okay, so Joanne, I'm going to tell you that you want it to be bigger, but it could be the one that you posted on Facebook. I'm also here to tell you that it's super, super complicated. It's super complicated.
Wrong, and it's not rectangular. If you notice, every font, every logo that everybody uses, every header everybody uses is a rectangular header. You don't want that square header. You want to go rectangular. You want a 2:5 ratio or a 4:10 ratio, depending on how you're setting it up. But that's the ratio that you want.
Yeah, it's just where do you want me to go, Joanne? Do you want me to look at this, or this? Right? You really only want me to look at one thing and just acknowledge that you have a brand, right? But this here, for some reason, and I'm not putting you down, but it's kind of like recreating the wheel, right? So stick with the training that we taught you. Go with what Perry taught you with Canva, right? Where you go vertical just like that. And if you have to start with AI connections for profit or whatever, which for me personally, I don't care about that so much because it sounds like everything else out there, right? I don't think that makes you unique or special from anybody else. I'm not saying you're not special, but you understand what I'm telling you, right? Model what other people are doing here because it's going to work. This one here is not going to get a great response. Just being honest with you, right? And didn't mean, wasn't trying to beat up on you or anything, but I know everybody can learn from this. So even Samantha here, right? Based on what we just said, it's busy, Samantha. It's super, super busy, right? And we got to get rid of all the extra padding that you have here on the top, the canvas here, right? So higher calling. Okay, so what I don't know is that's like a mission statement, but what's in it for me? Like, I'm not quite sure what's in it for me. So you guys kind of remember, have you guys heard that saying, what's everybody's favorite radio station? Somebody tell me the letters. WIFM, right? What's in it for me? So remember, when people are looking at your newsletters, as they're looking at your headers or whatever, there's got to be a reason for them to read it. And if we come off like a business, if we come off like we're advertising, like when I see this, I see an advertisement. I don't see a header for a newsletter, right? Are you guys getting a lot of value out of these critiques here? This one here, beautiful, love it, perfect. I know exactly what that is. I know exactly who that's for. And here's the other thing, man. It's like when Perry told us that you want your shirt to be iconic, right? That you want to recognize it right away. You want it to have that big feel. You don't want to have to think about it. As I look at this, I don't have to think about it. I know exactly what his newsletter is about. How many of you are like crystal clear on what that newsletter is going to be about? Now, whether or not it's a good niche, can't tell you that much, but I know what you're doing. And it's clean and it's black and white, and I think it's great. What are your thoughts, Perry? Oh, you're still doing I'm sorry. But we could go and get rid of some of the padding here. Because remember, you're going to drop it into, you're going to drop that into the software anyways that already has white padding on the top and bottom, right? So you don't have to make up for the padding here. Let's come down a little bit logo. Okay, so very, very busy logo. Definitely good use of colors. But again, it's either going to be super, super small in the newsletter, or when you make it big enough where people can read it, you're going to push all your content down, Chris. So same advice I would give you, don't reinvent the wheel. We told you, you want to go with a vertical logo. If you look at our newsletters, they're all vertical logos, all 19 of them. So, I wouldn't reinvent the wheel. I'd go with what's working, right? Let's see. Loretta, the writer method, where business owners build their voice. Good. Good. I get it. Let's see. Newsletters on making money while RVing. Okay. So Perry would definitely have some feedback for you here. My feedback would be that you would just want the RV alone. And that says it all. It leaves it to the imagination. If I look at that, my idea of an RV is probably going to be different than other people's. But when we look at the name of it, pavement profits, well, we know it has something to do with profits or retirement or something like that, right? But this is too busy and it's not all conclusive as one piece. What you did is you have 1, 2, 3 sections here. Can everybody see that? That logo is not coming together. But if it was just a motorhome here by itself, in between, like Terry taught you, it probably would work pretty well. Is everybody starting to get this right now? And if I said vertical, I'm not talking vertical, I'm talking about horizontal. Look at my camera right now. Horizontal, and that's right, and that's left. Okay, horizontal. All right. Let's see what else. Let me scroll down. So Loretta, I'm not even going to address this because you came up with this one right here. This is good. This one right here, I would destroy all day long. And it's not your fault. You clearly have strengths, but this is not one of your strengths if this is what you're producing. The good news is you have a community that knows what you need. Leverage that community, right? That community. So you don't want to do something like this, but the one that you did up here, the reason why I'm going a little tough on you down here, because I know you did a great job up here. So that's like night and day, right? So let's not even address that one. Again, this is too tall. So Robin, do you understand why this is too tall now? Okay, good. She gets it. But and we can make that horizontal very easily, right? So the name of your is Boomers Make Bank, right? So you could go vertical with it. You could put make script on the top or something. You could put the piggy bank in the middle like Perry showed you, right? There's a lot that you could do with this. Matter of fact, if you look at Boomer over here, if you take the word Boomer over here, and if you put bank over here, you could even leave newsletter underneath it. You could actually have the make and the piggy bank with the coins right between the two, and it would probably work. So there's not a lot that you have to do different here, right? Unleashing your beauty. The only thing I would say about this one, Dana, I know it's your second logo, is it would probably be better if it was on a white background. Because your newsletter has a white background, right? Passport plan. I definitely like the first one. These letters are a little hard to read here, that font color that you chose. It's passport and a plan, yeah. So when I see this, I see passport plan. And the reason why, how many of you see passport plan when you look at this? And the reason why is because this gets washed out, right? It's too light on white. But I definitely like that one better than, I haven't even clicked these other ones. But yeah, definitely number one's good. I really love the fact that you guys are asking the group what they think and getting some valuable feedback. Kathy says she created this in Canva, anti-aging reporter. Man, I think if you made this black and made this black and use this logo here on a white background, I think it would have been fine. Not that this is horrible, but I just wonder how that's going to look on the newsletter, but we'll find out. Mark. All right, I like Mark's. It's very, very different from what I'm used to seeing. Prepped and ready, skills to survive from a blackout to Yataki. And then he's got the graphic over here. That's
Hey,
kind of
while I'm working on this, I'll tell you a little trick, by the way, that I use with logo design. When you do your logo design, do it words only first and do it in black and white. If the logo works in black and white words only, then you're going to have a great logo. If you can't make it work black and white words only, it's not going to work in color. Little tip.
good advice. Did everybody get that tip? Now we tell them, now that they've done their logo. Tell me that wasn't intentional. All right. Let's see. Manufactured exit letter. I don't know why. Something's bothering me about that one. What is it, Perry? Do you like it? You're muted.
I frankly don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I wouldn't put letter at the end of it. I just manufacturer's exit and do the gear. I think the gears and manufacturing look good.
Yeah, maybe it was the letter part that I just think
It's a little too wide with the letter part, and the icon is too big for the line of letters.
super long, right?
Yeah, that would be better right there, right? It would maybe move the gear between the two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, so you have manufacturer here in the middle and then have exit, yeah. Let's see, Shauna knows what she's doing. Shauna knows what she's doing, so she has Texas courses. My only question for you, Shauna, is how come you didn't go with green? How come you didn't go with green? That's the only question I would have whenever we're dealing with golf. Oh, because the colors of the Texas flag. All right. So I guess that's a toss-up, right? Maybe you could do, well, at least make the flag, or it's blue and red, right? Well, maybe you could do Texas in blue and courses in red and have a green flag, or maybe not. Maybe I'll just leave it alone. Let's see how you do. Okay, but she had justification for those colors, which is really, really good, right? But yeah, so okay, so here's the thing. I know the Wyoming colors. I don't know the Texas colors. I probably should. It's the great state of Texas, right? So what about the people that don't know the Shauna, or is your newsletter only for Texas courses? You're only targeting Texas people, I guess. Yeah. A little bit of thought process that goes into this, right? Only for Texas golfers. Okay. Well, a Texas golfer is definitely going to know why she has chosen these colors, right? Okay, good. Good. Morning muster. Here's my logo. Okay, it's a military thing. I mean, when I saw this seal, the first thing I thought was military. So I think it's good. I think you definitely know more about the military than I do. Be careful when you put this outer stroke, this outer glow here, guys. The outer glow, when it's used properly, especially with drop shadows and such on white, is very effective. But when you put glows either internally or externally, and you have a white background, man, this hasn't been done for like 20 years. I'm glad it's gone. Everything is a lot cleaner now. Don't do glows on a white background. Okay. Just don't, because what it'll do is it'll give it this, you don't want a blur effect. You want a really nice, clean logo. Okay. Even on like black backgrounds, I don't recommend doing glows. Okay, let's see. So Keith, I think you understand what you need to do different now, right? Health, food, preservation. So my question to you is, why would anybody read your newsletter? Because it sounds like a business to me, right? I don't think anybody would subscribe to this. Like, what's in it for me, Keith? That's what I'm going to ask you. What's in it for me? Remember how we were breaking these models down yesterday and we said, hey, if your niche sounds like a product or features or something like that, then it's going to be really hard to get somebody to subscribe to that. There's really nothing in it for me. And let me just ask everybody on the chat, do you feel like there's anything in it for you if you were to subscribe to this newsletter? If it's for food producers now, well, what do you have to offer food producers? You see what's different here? Yeah, but most people are saying no, but they're not the target audience either. Now that I understand it's for food producers, okay, well, you gotta be able to create something for food producers in. So, Morning Patriot, I think it's a great logo. I think that would look amazing on a sleeve of a shirt. We talk a lot about badge value. But again, we want to be going horizontal when it comes to a newsletter. Does that make sense, Matt? Beautiful logo, though. I like it. I like it a lot. Morning Patriot. I gotta reach out to you. Have you truly been around since 2012? If Matt's on the call, Matt Barron. Let me see what you're doing. Write that down, Brittany. Let's see what he's up to. Morning Patriot.
He's on the call.
Well, where is he?
I'll keep
Matt?
an eye out in the chat for him, but oh, there you go. Yeah, he's in the chat.
Is this an existing company, Matt?
No, he needs to fix the date.
Okay. John Bingham. Well, it's a good time to go into the Patriot niche, right? Let's see. John Bingham. Let's go with a newsletter header. First of all, dude, I am an avid fisherman. I can't wait to get to Wyoming and catch some more walleye. Haven't done that in years. I love this logo. Reminds me of Cabela's all day long. So I know it's going to attract the right person. However, on your newsletter, like I said, it's either going to be super, super small or too big to where it's going to push all your content down. You need to take this logo here, and I can kind of, or yeah, I can kind of see how you can do it. We need to take it from a logo to a header. Does that make sense, John? By the way, it's good to see you on the call, man. John is a very, very smart local marketer. Does very, very well with local marketing. Let's see, bourbon and cigars. I like this one. I like this one. I love bourbons and cigars. Yeah. Again, though, good for you. What's in it for me? Right? What's in it for me? But I like the design overall. Kinda, it's kind of like a fun design here. It has that home feel to it. This one right here, Eric, I really did like this one. I saw this the other day. I thought it was good. I thought it was a great use of colors, right? Fitness, hustle, legacy. It made me kind of think there for a minute, which is not a horrible thing, right? But I like it. I like this font. I like how bold it is. I like how much it stands out. You put the trademark there. That's probably one of my favorite ones. I thought that was well done. Let's see. Jeff, you got to do some work here. I understand you're trying to do a newsletter for veteran entrepreneurs. I think the name is okay, the command post. I don't quite get this yet. I don't, I just see a seal here. Obviously, you know, you came back and gave it to us on black, so we doing, but it didn't have what we were trying to accomplish, right? Pop culture profits. Man, I think it would have been really, really cool if it was on a white background. I think it'd be really great if it's on a white background, and you want to find a way to shrink this down if you can, so you don't have as much mass header up on top. You don't want to have that much padding up on top, because it's a cool logo, but it's a cool header, but it's going to push down a lot, right? Let's see. I absolutely don't like this one at all. And I'll tell you, whenever, so this font is wrong all the way across here, Jen, and everybody gave me permission to be brutally honest, so I'm going to do that. This font is wrong all the way across. You're using real images, and then we have like clip art and stuff over here in your logo. So there's like 3 conflicts with me right away, right? We either got to keep this layout here, this style, this is where we started, let's continue with that. Or I actually don't recommend that you do anything like this at all. And I'm glad I didn't see it. What did we see? We saw a lot of clip art. We saw like a lot of AI images. Like we didn't see like real pictures of people. And I guess the only time that there would be an exception is if you had your own personal newsletter. It might be okay to put your picture there. Make sense? Okay. But at any rate, I'm super happy with everybody that I think y'all did a great job. Right? So AR marketing hacks, I think that's good. I wouldn't have powered by Zebra, because as soon as I see that, I think, okay, there's some kind of transaction here. She's going to sell me something. That's the part where you kind of lost me, right? Cool. Okay. Let's see. The daily spam. I thought that one was okay. If it was me, I would try to save as much space because I want to get people down to the content. So I can see where this could fit right under here. And I could see how this could be moved up, and it could be a lot smaller, right? And I assume we're talking about food spam and not email spam. Homework is a healthy food newsletter. Yeah, okay. That's like having a weight loss ad out there and showing a picture of a Big Mac. That's great. All right. We talked about Boomer's Bank. All right. This one here, let me see. Entrepreneurial tech secrets. I think it's okay. I just think, yeah. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. Very, very interesting use of colors. But you're definitely going horizontal, so that was a lot better. This one right here, Sherry, you know what you got to do different now, right? Love the imagery though. I love it. I think that's great. We just got to go horizontal with it. This one here, Mark, we're way off on this altogether. When we get super, super creative like this with these kind of fonts and no fill, and you really want to make sure that you know what you're doing.
Hey, this goes back to that rule, Chad. Will It Magazine.
Will It Magazine. Yeah, good. Good, 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 good. Will It Magazine. Yeah. The answer is no. What it kind of reminds me of, and I'm not putting down Mark. I love Mark, great guy. Just awesome, one of our mastermind members. But there's a conflict here. Like, how many of you your eyes are bouncing? Like, great video, awesome video, but now your eyes are going ping, 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 ping. And it's because it's so busy up here. And this actually takes away from the professionalism that you have down below. Right? So yeah, Perry gave you the best advice, Will It Magazine. Will It Taco? Flash for profits. It would probably be fine if you had a white background. Fun font, everything else, background is wrong. How many of you are realizing that pretty much everything that I have pointed out has been due to a busy background? Are y'all starting to see this right now? It's all a busy background, or there's too much height or too much padding on the top and bottom, right? American Burnout Association. Okay, so there's things that are wrong with this all the way across. First of all, there's too much spacing here if you did want to go this way, but you wouldn't want to go this way. You would want to take this flame over here on the side, and then you would want to go American Burnout. And then if you had to have association, you put it down below or something like this, but you need to go horizontal with it, right? But even trying to go this way, it's not good. There's just too much spacing between those words, right? But the ABA, okay. Lone Star Biker, I think this would have been fine had it been on white. It's too tall, too fancy of a background. Is everybody seeing that now? Too fancy of a background. And what we just discovered when we looked at Mark's was that our header, I appreciate you posting this, Mark, our header can take away from our images and our video down below, right? Let's see. Okay. Again, make it black, make it some color, white background, get rid of everything behind it. Guys, be careful. This is something that we understand very, very well. It's the reason why we have overlay features in all of our software and everything. You got to be careful when you take words and put them on images. You got to find a way to wash out, to lighten that background, because those words are just blending in too much. And what it'll do is it'll actually irritate, right? So I would get rid of the picture altogether, change it to black, and you're probably golden. Same thing here, uplift every day. Can everybody kind of see, she's using the right colors, but everybody, can you kind of see why you need some kind of icon there, something there? That's what Perry's trying to show you, put something in the middle there, right? So it just adds a little flair to it, adds that appeal to it, that bling factor. But I like the color because it's an uplifting color, it's a positive color. The fonts, for me, it's a little too playful, but it's a great name for a newsletter if you're going to do like motivation quotes and stuff like that. Get rid of the black. This to me does not look like a newsletter. It looks like a product. Can everybody see how this could be on a box shot? Not so much a newsletter header. Are y'all starting to see this right now? And regardless, you need to put it on white. These are very, very effective colors. Matter of fact, they're the exact colors that I'm using in this slide. So it kind of makes me wonder a little bit, right? Effective colors for PowerPoint slides and doing speeches and stuff, but up on stage, but I would not be using this for a newsletter. Okay, let's see. Again, this one here, if you're going to do this, then first of all, you have a logo. You don't have a header, right? So you could use the dragon, right, as your over here on the right-hand side or in the middle, and then put Dragon Peak on each side of it, or on one side, or put Dragon Peak and then fitness on the other side. But that's who's let me see who this is. Okay, Jet. Jet, is Dragon Peak your company? Because remember, WIFM, what's in it for me? Now, if Dragon Peak is some kind of, like on Facebook, there's a guy named Cole, and he has something called the snake diet. And it's an actual process that people go through to lose weight, right? So it's a process. So he could go put together a newsletter that way. But if this is your company, nobody wants to subscribe to your company newsletter. Like, I'm sorry, they don't. So what's in it for me? That's a
Jet,
company.
Jet said this is a completely new prospect. He met with on the call yesterday with Perry.
Okay, well, I'm not overriding anything Perry's saying, but you're getting two sides, right? You're getting hopefully we're not conflicting too bad. I doubt that we are. Not for, look, it's a great name for a company. I love the logo, but right now our goal is to create a newsletter header, right? And that just wasn't there. This one totally conflicted with this. I saw this the other day. It makes me think too much. How many of you are frustrated when you look at that logo? Yeah, you're frustrated because you're almost like somebody's screwing with me, right? So I still am looking at it. I love the logo, but I don't understand what the word is. Somebody tell me what the word is. Age. I see the A now. So here's the problem. I had to be told, I get it. I'm looking at a logo that clearly is about aging. I still had to be told there was an A there. How many of you saw the A? You saw the A. How many of you had to think about what this logo was? And here's the last question. How many of you were confused when you saw it? So there's your feedback, Danielle. Now, do I think that this logo could be over here and you could just put an A there? Absolutely. Yeah, just a little too creative, right? All those are good. Very, very simple. Simple wins, guys. Simple wins. This one here, a little too busy. A little too busy. Your font selection is not the right choice over here. The reason why is because you have a lot of heaviness here. You might not realize it, but I see it right away. You have a lot of heaviness here underneath the brim hat. You got this dark color here. You got strokes happening here. And then you have a very, very thin font. So there's a conflict here. This needs to be thicker, right? And then this over here, I get the whole Chronicle thing. I don't even think it's necessary. I think that's just like an afterthought, like, let me throw another image there. It just doesn't fit in. And this needs to be closer to here, right? I'm not trying to give you guys like a design. I'm just trying to give you guys some really fast feedback. This right here, you would be much better off having the same color, white background. These fonts are, I get you're trying to do a rock thing. But there's a conflict. These are very two unique fonts, right? So if one's going to be unique like this one, then we want to make this one as plain as we possibly can down here. Is that making sense to everybody? Otherwise, your eyes go bing, 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 because those are very unique fonts, right? They serve a purpose. Okay. This one, Robin, we're way off all the way across. Could you just go and have Drooly Beast? I guess so. Does everybody know what Drooly Beast means? No, not really. So yeah, you do got to have a picture of a dog there. I love that one. I love that one all day long. I love, 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 love that one. I think it's great. And then we know what's wrong with this one. And we know what's wrong with this one, horizontal, right? You do want to have another color in there, I think, right? You got a lot of that blue, but you need to have some black in there. This one, we're wrong with it, Anthony. Get rid of the background. What's in it for me? Nobody knows what the lockbox lounge is. Mindful ADHD sounds like a pill to me. Sounds like a supplement I'm going to see on TV. It even looks like a brain supplement to me. So what's in it for me, right? Whatever happened to revisiting forgotten celebrity personalities? Listen to what I just said. I can hear Perry saying right now, Will It Magazine. Great font, great use of imagery and everything else. This was kind of an afterthought. and you're trying to answer a question for me that you probably shouldn't be answering. Why couldn't you just say whatever happened to and leave it to the imagination? Whatever happened to what? The old cartoons, the candy I used to eat when I was a kid, the telephone, like who knows what that means, right? I definitely think you'd have a lot more hooks if you left it open-ended, right? But this is the wrong way to do this. You got a font going this way, and then you're just trying to go here. Design-wise, it's wrong. Okay. Let's see. Carolyn Shag. Again, I'm conflicted with it. I'm conflicted because you reinvented the wheel. What Perry showed you was to put these shoes here in the middle. The font's wrong, it's too long, but this right here is completely screwing something up, right? The metaphor might be right, the imagery might be right. That image is not right the way you did it with the logo. And then this over here again is like, let me just throw another image there. Just, it's not necessary. Less is more. Can everybody type in the chat? Less is more. Beautiful, John, too busy, right? The Healthy Hound, I think that one's okay. I'm conflicted with it. I haven't seen one like that before. Look, I can see this, so I can see the word I can see healthy, and I can see hound. And I think that this could be the right one if you put it in the middle. So if we move the over here, put the hound in the middle, like Perry showed you, and then got rid of this whole entire art thing that you have going on around it, it would probably be better. Change my life forever. I don't like it, too personal. I don't get it. I have to think. I'm sure it's transformational woo-woo. It's not working for me right away. How many of you are noticing now after, and by the way, let me make sure, is everybody finding a lot of value on this? Because remember, we want you to crank out multiple newsletters. So I'm spending a little bit of time here because I want you to know how to do this, because it doesn't take much. But as I've been talking, as Perry was showing things with you, we're talking about what makes a good design, what doesn't. Every time I pull it up, are you starting to see what's wrong real fast? Like real fast. Like your eye will get good at this, and you will start to recognize things really, really fast. And you'll start to recognize when things are too busy. And you'll start to understand, truthfully, that less is more. If we look at this, background's too busy. The font is wrong, right? Uplift every day. Learn, laugh, elevate. Good hook. Wrong design. Wrong design. And what's going to happen is you're going to get the right people coming around, but then they're not going to read your newsletter. They're not going to take you serious because there's a disconnect here, right? Because we're going to make the most amazing page in session 3, and your copy is going to be dead on, and everything's going to work. And then they're going to get in the newsletter first impression. They're going to go, wait a minute, this isn't what I signed up for, right? Rose's gardening, I'm conflicted with it. This is not the right image there. I don't know if that's just a low res image. I think that's an effect there. Don't use effects like that. Don't work with gradients unless you know what you're doing. Don't work with strokes unless you know what you're doing. There's a lot of fills in programs that'll put like stuff in the middle of your letters. Don't do that stuff. Solid letters, guys. Solid letters. The clip art, wherever you found this, is wrong. AI will create something incredible today for you to put there. Follow the lead that Perry showed you. This is a website header, guys. Do you understand the difference between a website header and a newsletter header? Are you all starting to get this right now? That's a website header. That's a product. Home Gym Hacker sounds like a course to me. So nobody wants to go read a newsletter that looks like a course, that could be potentially pitching a course, which is okay, but this is not the first impression we want to start out with, Mike. Okay. Unleashing your body, I think it's great. Put it on white. It makes me think a little bit, but I saw the butterfly, I saw the face. I'm like, I kind of like it. I kind of very, very creative, and it kind of fit. It made sense. Just get rid of the white, or get rid of the pink, put it on white. Top secret, don't want to go there. I think this looks fine. She's a personal brand. Good. Just, we got to go. And obviously she knows that she's an expert marketer, but we got to go and cut out as much of the header as we possibly can. And we have it just like that. Oh, let's see, we have Angie here too. Okay, cool. That works. I think we're getting to the end here, guys. Let's see, American Home, put it on white, black letters. This one, I like it. Do I understand it? No. Am I the target audience? Probably not. Okay, we gotta be getting to the end here. Let me see what this one is. Roaming together, nope. Wrong dimension, wrong dimension, wrong dimension, and it all blends. It all blends, it all blends, it all blends. Too many colors. You're confusing me. You're confusing me, right? You got one font here, you're creative here, you got a different font here, you got a different font here. Folks, one signature main font. That's it. That's all you want. And the rest, you make it plain fonts. Because can everybody see how it's competing? You're going bing, 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 right? It's too competitive. You're competing with each other. All right. Cheating for profit. Seriously, that's what I saw. I saw cheating for profit. Even though, you got the yarn here, I get the crochet and everything. Be careful with that. That's what I saw, right? So now as I look at this, is it busy? Yeah, it's busy. And it's exactly what I just said. You got a good font here, you got a different font here, you got a different font here. It's too much. It's too complicated. Good use of icon. This one over here, we have the same problem that we had before. If I have to figure out what language you're speaking or what you're trying to say here, it ain't working. You're just assuming that, okay, everybody knows it's a crochet, so they're gonna replace an O here, however you spell that. Oh, what a complicated word, right? It's not the case. It's not the case, right? So in most cases here, guys, I always learn something about me too. So we're going to remove the background. The colors are probably wrong, and there needs to be a different color. Maybe make this black. Here's a good case of where you don't need to have the strokes and the shadows and everything else. Do you guys see it? It's from the 90s. Please don't bring this back. Keep it clean, keep it simple. That's what's working today, right? Tea Time Tales. I think it's a good name. I think your logo's all wrong. That's not a newsletter header, right? There, good. See how fast we didn't even have to think about it? Like boom, like we knew right away when we looked at that, didn't we? How many of you saw it? Like right away, like boom, we didn't think about it, we didn't judge it, we just knew right away by looking at it. We knew what was in it for us too, if that's what our target market was. Your other one's better. Your other one's better. Do you know why? Because as soon as you added this color here, you just put a cap right here at the top, kind of like you have, and you put one right here. But when you didn't have it there, you just had this logo by itself, and so it fit in better. Now you have a box. Now you have a rectangle. Everybody seeing that? Yeah. This stuff will stick out. Again, too conflicting, too much going on, when truthfully you have wellness, wave, oasis. Ride the wave to well-being. Okay, so it sounds like a destination retreat for me. It doesn't sound like a newsletter, first of all. Second of all, this icon right here was good enough. This probably has something to do with your business or something. You didn't need it. You could have just played off this icon here. And you got too much creativity with this, because this creativity is going to compete with the creativity you have in your icon. Are y'all starting to see this right now? Wherever you're creative, if you're creative in your fonts, if you're creative in your icon, then don't take away from that focus. Keep everything else very, very standard and plain. That's what works. Okay. Good. All right. So did y'all learn something from that? We spent a little bit of time doing that, but it was super, super important. Is Perry still on the call, Brittany?
No, he dropped out, and I'm just waiting to see if he hops back in.
Okay. If he does hop in, that's great. I know he's having some issues today with his connection and everything. It's okay. No problem. Good. Okay, so let me tell you this right now. I want everybody to understand this, because a lot of people aren't getting this, okay? This is a very important note. Before we dive into the software, and by the way, type the chat here. Let me know how many of you are ready to do this now. You're absolutely ready to do this. And not only that, you're ready to do this on a massive level, meaning you're going to be able to rinse and repeat. And I already met with Perry. I already met with Brittany. I already met with Russell. I already met with Angie. I already met with the whole entire team the other day. And I said, as soon as we're done with this class, we're going to put our VAs through here. They're going to learn this process. And we got 215 very profitable niches that we're going to go build newsletters for. That's going to be our focus. So the first thing you have to understand, this software, and we're not the only ones out there. There's competitors out there. There's Substack, Beehive, not very many, but there's some out there. Those were built for you to have a single newsletter. And what you got to do is you got to come back, you got to open up another account, you got to get a different plan or something else. They're basically going to monetize off every single newsletter you have. We built this to solve a problem in our business, guys. We built this platform to handle multiple newsletters without having to pay for a separate account for each one. This is the most important thing for me to tell you, or you're going to be super, super confused. Not only that, we built this software to be able to schedule out multiple newsletters. We used to do this in spreadsheets. We used to do this in Airtable. Not no more. The software, and I'll show you this. I want everybody to understand this. The software tells you when it's time for this newsletter to go out, which was super, super important for us. And the third thing, we built this software so that our VAs could bank newsletters for all of our properties and future properties. Does everybody know what that means? So what that means is, for some reason, we only have 2 VAs right now doing this, but if one of them's sick, it's okay. There's 10 other newsletters ready to go out. So multiple newsletters, be able to schedule, keep track of the schedule for multiple newsletters, and be able to bank them ahead of time. All right, so scale of 1 to 10, everybody getting this concept right now. And if you don't, you're going to be super, super confused and frustrated in my software. And I don't want that. Because what I want you to do is I want you to have the same plan that we do. When you figure out, okay, boom, created my logo, understand the software, understand the opportunity that Perry taught me, bada bing, bada boom, I'm ready, set, go. I can create as many as I want. That's where I'm trying to get you to. So there are 3 roles in our software. You ready for this? I'm going to tell you exactly the roles that we have in our company. This is going to be a goal for you, because how many of you are looking at this and going, man, I'll bet that I could just teach a VA how to pump out these newsletters with this software every single day. How many of you have started having that thought? And if you're a part of the Ignite Mastermind, you know that I'm a big believer in going out there and finding those little guys and giving them a chance and teaching them how to do these tasks in our business, and not paying $10,000 a month or $5,000 a month or whatever else, but be able to pick people up for $2 to $3, $4 to $5 an hour. Those are all things that we cover inside of Ignite, right? But this is exactly what we have. Mind you, this is not where we started, but this is where we're at right now, right? We have what are called AI prompters. Now, when we started this, they were actual newsletter. They were actually, excuse me, they were actual newsletter writers, okay? Now they're AI prompters. And truthfully, and now that I think about it, even that is not the right name, because they're not writing prompts. But I can't just say they're button pushers. So I don't know what to call them. But basically, these are people our people are from the Philippines, and they're amazing, right? They are the ones that are running our software every single day. Okay, so if that was your idea, absolutely it will work. And no, they're not prompt engineers, because they're not creating the prompts. They're finding relevant articles and links and videos, and they're just saying copy and paste and letting the software do the rest. Okay, now we have some niches in politics, finance, investing. We even have a newsletter called Celebrity Gossiper. So whoever Taylor Swift is dating and cheating on today or whatever, we're the first ones to cover it. When there is a celebrity that passes on, we actually have a channel. We have a Zoom channel where there's a red alert, right? So when somebody famous dies, then there's a red alert, and we go and we get a newsletter out announcing that celebrity's death, right? Not death, but if somebody gets, it's pretty much this. Who's who's getting married, who's getting divorced, who's cheating on who, and who just died. That's what that niche wants to know, right? So we have alerts for all these things, okay? Well, what happens is the Philippines will sometimes give us alerts and we're like, yeah, it's sad that that TikTok influencer died. Yeah, she's got 2 million followers, but nobody really knows who she is. She's not a Whitney Houston or Michael Jackson or Ronald Reagan or something like that, right? So what we also have is we also have what's called an editor. And our editors are here in the United States. So the AI prompters who are overseas are finding the links and videos, and they're creating the actual newsletters. And then what's happening before we send it out, our editors are looking at it and saying, well, it's in the middle of summer here, so we probably don't want to be showing these fur coats, right? Because the Philippines don't always understand. So the editor comes back to the staff and says, hey, swap out this link or do this or do that, or for whatever reason, we don't want to do this. And then we have one more role. And by the way, you heard Russell talking the other day, and it's absolute truth that I am very, very hands-on and hands-off. Me and Perry are hands-off in this whole entire process. We don't have anything to do with it anymore, but we did when we started. We were the ones that put it all together. I shared the story, how it started with a spreadsheet. I hired the 5 VAs, right? And then it eventually went into Airtable. I went and built a no-code piece of software. No code wasn't working with AI like I wanted. It was too limited. I couldn't give you guys an account. So then we went and built a full stack piece of software, which is what Letterman is, right? But today, I'm hands off. I got people that manage that. Perry doesn't even know what's happening there. He just knows that there's 19 newsletters going out every day. He sees it hit in his email. He sees it hit in his inbox. He's happy. We see the sales rolling in. The stats are good. We're able to re-engage people. Everything works, right? But the last role we have is what we call a publisher. And the publisher is an expert for us sending out email. And all he's going to do is go and click a button that says send the email, and it gives him the code, and he goes and puts it in Maripost, Campaign Refinery, Go High Level, Aweber, Get Response, whatever you have, and it sends it out. Is everybody starting to get this right now? This is exactly what we have in our company. Now, is this where you need to start? No, it's not. You don't need to start here. Is this a good goal for you? Abso-freaking-lutely it is. 100%, right? So let's talk about scheduling. And this is actually going to be very, very easy. Nothing real complicated. And this is, I don't know how many years of stats. We went back. We looked at Maripost for the last 15 years. We studied the industry. We talked to a lot of people. This is what they told us, okay? Very best days to send your newsletter are right in the middle of the week. So you may notice sometimes when I do a demonstration of our software and I open up the newsletter, there's nothing in there. So if you're on a Sunday, because we do a lot of Sunday webinars, and sometimes Perry will ask me to demonstrate the software, I'll open it up, but there's no newsletters. And the reason why is because we're not sending out on the weekends like that. We don't send out Friday, but we try to jump in there and send out in the middle of the week because it's when people are the most active. Now, could it be different for your niche and marketplace? 100%. Yeah, for sure. The only way that you're going to find out is to put together your newsletter and go out there and find out for yourself, right? But this right here is what we try to do. Now, for us, how many of you heard about the, I don't remember the term he used, but how many of you understood what Perry was saying when he was talking about cross-promoting? We went out there and built a newsletter focused on guns, and then found out, hey, some of these people are interested in their health. Some of these people are interested in investment. And some of these people are interested in what's happening with the news. And so what did? We went and we moved them into different segments. We moved them into different newsletters. So essentially, we can go out there and acquire this subscriber right here for a certain cost. And if you do it right, it doesn't have to be very high. And then what we could do is we can go ahead and tag this subscriber, when they click a link saying they're interested in something with finance or Bitcoin or investing or whatever it is, health. And from that point, we know, okay, they would be a good candidate for my other newsletter. And that's how the gun niche was built, the survival niche, the breaking news alerts, the capitalist, and I don't take credit for any of that stuff. All that was done way before me. But I can tell you, I learned a lot about the cross-pollination process. And I said, this is a freaking gold mine. And to be honest with you, if I wasn't the one building out software, guys, this is the only thing I would be focused on right now because it's incredible. And we will get back to it even more heavily focused than we are right now. Okay. So with that being said, I can't, if I got the same people on all these lists and you'll do this too, then you can't always send out your newsletter the same day when you have multiple newsletters. Does that make sense? So what we have to do is over here on this newsletter, we got to send it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And on this newsletter, we got to send it Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. But the general rule of thumb, especially if you just have one single newsletter, is in the middle of the week, stay away from the weekends. Now, if we look at the send times, I went and pulled up this report from Litmus. Litmus is probably the ultimate authority figure when it comes to understanding this statistic that you see right here. This is what we have found to be the case as well. Most of our newsletters, and especially with the process we have now, the breaking news alert, the capitalist, and celebrity gossiper are all based on what happened in the last 24 hours. My team knows that that newsletter better be in everybody's inbox by 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And with those newsletters right there, they don't have the ability to bank them. And the reason why is because it's based off what's happening in the news for the last 24 hours. So they're actually using the software and creating the newsletter that day, that morning, first thing, right? I think they started like 4 o'clock or whatever. And they get in there and they clear the chats and everything. And then they probably spend a whole 15 minutes creating their newsletter. But for whatever reason, we give them a 2-hour gap because I don't want to miss that deadline. Now, once they get those news letters out there that are dealing with alerts and what's happening in the news, then they got all day. And all they're doing now is they're going and they're creating more newsletters for kitchen recipes, more newsletters for makeup tutorials, more newsletters for sewing.com. All of these newsletters we wish we didn't have that are probably a waste to focus on right now because now we know, we understand this more. Just from working with you guys, we're very, very clear what we need to do. And we've shared that with you so you don't make the same mistakes. But at any rate, the team can take all day because all they're doing is banking the newsletters in the software. Is this making sense to everybody? And when you're paying your outsourcers, $2, $3, $4 an hour or whatever, you don't even have to be on an 8-hour shift. You ain't out that much money. And remember, we have 2 outsourcers now that are creating all of those newsletters. We started with 5, and all they're doing is banking all day long. So if we're at $3 an hour, I want you guys to understand this. We are banking around, I'm going to say about 10 newsletters a day. They don't do all 19, but they do about 10 a day at 8 hours a day. They do work 8 hours a day. It comes to about $24 per staff member. So we're spending about $48 to bank 10 newsletters a day. And we don't have to. We're just trying to keep them happy. Truthfully, they could come in here and they could spend 3 or 4 hours and we would be fine because of our banking ability. Is everybody starting to get this right now? Yeah, Laura, I did say $3 an hour. And if that doesn't make sense to you, when you're a part of Ignite, how many of you that are in Ignite are being like, yep, I know exactly what he's talking about right now. That's what we do. That's what we do. And here's the other thing, and I won't this is not a workshop about hiring VAs or anything, but I'll make a bet with you. I'll put my $3 an hour outsourcers up against your $18 an outsourcers all day long, and I will do circles around you. I'll do circles. Promise you. 100% without a doubt. Right? Okay. Now, here's what you need to understand. Very, very important. So we know Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All right, I got it. Best times to send. Okay. Now, inside the software, guys, I'm going to show you this. There's going to be this area where you're going to set up your newsletter to send out certain days. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are best time to send out. Okay, so this newsletter right here, which is Survival Life, I'm going to set it in the software to send out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Is everybody starting to get this right now? That's just one newsletter. We got 19 newsletters. So this one goes out Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Another one goes out just Sunday. Another one goes out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? You determine your sending times right here in the software. We're going to do this today. Now, type in the chat here. Let me know, what days do you plan on sending out your newsletter? Have you even given that any thought? And is it a deal breaker right now? Hell no. It absolutely is not. But look, we got Friday, Tuesday, daily, Thursdays. Here's what I would recommend to everybody. You ready for this? So I shared the story at the event when we had this idea, when Perry laid this all out. Here's what he said to me. He laid out this whole thing, and I said, okay, let me see if I can get one of these newsletters out. And he goes, well, I invite you to look at this a different way. I said, what's that? He goes, we need to send all 19 out at once. Okay, well, the man's smarter than I am, been more successful than I am. I'm going to find a way to do that. Month later, I still didn't have it figured out. So we came back around, we looked at the whiteboard. He goes, man, and we had these notes of everything that we were getting done. And the newsletter thing was not something we got done. So I said to him, I said, man, I know you're frustrated with me on this. I couldn't build a software to do this. It's just too much for me. Let me just ask you to consider something. How about if we take this one newsletter here, and what if we get one out by Monday morning? And this was a Friday. I said, what if we just have one sent Monday? Like, you come to my house, let's work on this thing. Our goal is just to send one on Monday. He goes, just one? I said, just one. Just one. All right, do what you want to do. I went and hired 5 outsourcers that weekend, guys. True story. By Monday, there was 5 outsourcers. It took all 5 because I did not have any idea what I was doing. Totally winged it. We got our first newsletter out. All right. I came back to him. I said, how is it? Oh, man, that's beautiful. You can do this, you can do that. Yeah. He laid out the layout you're seeing right there on the screen right now. I said, okay, let's see if we can get another one out by Wednesday. Got another one out by Wednesday. Okay, perfect. So I can take this guy, now that I've built out the process, I can get one going out Monday and one going out Wednesday. Now, let me see if I can start working on a second one, because I got the process. That's what we were missing, guys. We were missing the process. The process for one is going to be the same for 200. Do you understand that? Instead of having 3 VAs or whatever, I might need to have 30 VAs to do 200, but the process is going to be the same. So once I had the process, the second week, we had 2 of them going out. By week 3, we had 8 of them going out. By the end of the month, all 19 were going out, and I never looked back. Went out there, showed it at the event, showed it on stage, introduced it to the world. Nobody was talking about newsletters. I introduced it at the AI Bot Summit. Everybody went nuts, and we've been doing it ever since and perfecting the process, making a lot of mistakes along the way so that we could do this workshop to teach you guys exactly what to do. Making sense? True story. So my advice to you, when I asked you, how often do you plan on sending? I saw a lot of, I'm going to send every day. I'm going to send every day. I'm going to send every day. Hoo-wah! Good for you, action taker. Don't do it. Don't do it. Send one. Send one a week. Get that down. If you got that down and you're confident, send it 2 times a week. If that's good, send it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever you want to do. I don't care. Okay. But don't set yourself up for failure. We're really, really good telling you how incredible this is. Big opportunity, easy software, and everything else. But guess what? When this workshop ends, I'm not going to be there to push the buttons for you anymore. We'll still assist you in every way we can, especially if you're a part of our community. But you're on your own. Church gets out. You know what happens, right? So don't set yourself up for failure. Let's be real here. Let's see if we can get one newsletter out and don't burn out. Is that fair? Is that fair for everybody? Can we do that? And we're going to create that today. Does it have to be perfect today? No. Does it need to be today? Yes. Okay. So now the software keeps us on schedule, right? So every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, this newsletter should be waiting to be sent. So here's a good example of what my publications look like. So you see, I have all these newsletters over here. By the way, are they vertical or are they horizontal? They're all horizontal, right? Okay, now, if you look over here, you're gonna see that you have some statuses here. So what this means is somebody went and started this specific newsletter, this publication, and there's one that's in draft. So I can continue the draft. There's 0 that are approved right now. There's 0 that need approval. There's 0 that are revised. There's 0 that are sent, and there's 85 that are published. So what we're trying to do is get these drafts over here to the green, where I have 14 that are approved. Is this making sense? As long as I have them approved, what'll happen is it will pull the next one scheduled and it'll put it on your dashboard where it's ready to be sent out. But it has to be approved. Now, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to have VAs to do this. You don't have to have multiple staff members to do this, whatever else. No, it's your one account. You just write the newsletter, and if you want, if it's good enough, mark it approved. But this status will help you stay on track with your schedule, right? And I want to make sure, is everybody getting this right now? So we're going to create this publication, and then what's going to happen is we're going to build newsletters inside of this publication. So remember I told you, there's a difference between publications, which is what you're seeing here on the screen, and then inside the newsletter, inside the publication, we have all of these newsletters, okay? Give me a 10 here if you get it. Scale of 1 out of 10, how many of you are getting this right now? Because if you don't, if you're not paying attention, you're going to blow up my support desk, and I'm going to be like, my God, I tried so hard to really help them understand that, right? You're really going to appreciate this because remember what I told you. We built the system to handle multiple newsletters. Nobody else has figured this out, nor do they want you to figure it out because they can make money off you every single time you create a new newsletter. I don't want you to do that. I want you to be successful because I want you to become a part of our world, right? So what's going to happen is this is now my dashboard. So let's say somebody give me a date. What was the date? The 6th. Was that Monday, Brittany?
What was that?
Monday. Was that the 6th?
Monday was the 6th, yes.
That's today, right?
Or wait, no, Monday was the 4th.
So today, okay, so Wednesday, the time we're shooting this video, don't ask me about dates and times. I'll screw it up every time, right? So Wednesday, the day we're shooting this video, this is an actual screenshot of what went out today, guys. March 6th, okay? Notice that everything's been published, right? Which means it's been sent. Okay, this was actually emailed out, just like you see here. And then see these 2 that are waiting, they're approved. The reason why they're approved is because every single one of these newsletters were set to go out today. Okay, and remember, there's more, there's 19 of them. And it just went and pulled the next one that's approved. Are you starting to get this? I'm not even going to comment on your comment, Russell. I'm not going there. Does everybody get this? I can't, I'm horrible at directions too. You can ask Alex. We went to lunch a little while ago. I couldn't even tell you where we went. I couldn't even get back to that restaurant if I had to save my life, right? So look, here's the thing. So that means all of these newsletters in my publications right here are scheduled to go out Wednesday. So the software just goes and pulls your next approved newsletter. Very, very simple. A draft just means you started it, but you didn't save it or anything. It's just, but it's just there. You got to do something with it, right? Or delete it. So now here's my question. What if you don't have a newsletter, but it's supposed to go out today? What if there's nothing waiting there? What if you got some in draft, right? You got some that need to be revised, but nothing's approved. What happens? Well, first of all, there's your approvals waiting to be published. But see down here at the bottom here, folks? That's what happens. That's what happens right there. These three, and those are not real newsletters, by the way. We've been playing on webinars and stuff, and I think we created a sneaker peeker and banjo times last time, and they just happened to pull up, so I grabbed that screenshot. But we set those to go out Wednesday. Nobody is actually creating a newsletter called Banjo Times or Sneaker Peeker, right? So it's telling us, hey, these newsletters are supposed to go out today, but we don't have nothing. It's missing. Is this making sense to you? So you know what's going to happen if you don't create your newsletter? The software will self-destruct. Now, here's what will happen. Tomorrow, the sun will shine, new day, and the software goes and says, okay, it's Thursday. Hopefully you got your stuff together today, right? And it'll pull your next set of newsletters. And if you're missing again, so be it, right? That's your responsibility. The software doesn't care if you get it out. All it's doing is trying to keep you on schedule. That's it. Is this making sense to everybody? I told you we were doing some stuff differently than everybody else because we built this to handle multiple newsletters. Man, if we built the right team, we could probably have 1,000 newsletters out there. Seriously, we really could. Right? So, how many of you are ready to do this? Type in the chat, let me know. How many of you are ready to go create your publication? Because I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a super, super complicated process. All right. So here's what we need to do. All right. First thing that we need to do is we need to log into the software. So Brittany, will you please put the link to for them to log into the software? The production version, please. There you go. All right. Does everybody see Brittany's link? Go ahead and log into the software. We've been trying to get everybody access. If they didn't have access, there wasn't too many. And then type in the chat, let me know once you're logged in. Robert says he's in. Matthew's in. Good. Okay. Yes. Everybody's in. All right. This ain't going to be so bad. This ain't going to be so bad at all. All right. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We are going to go to the link, and I'm going to show you this here in a second. Let me pull this up. We're going to go to a link that says My Publications. I want you to click on that link. Let me go ahead and do this with you. Right here, it says My Publications. Can you guys go ahead and click this link, please? While you're doing that, let me make sure everybody... So you should see something that says Newsletter Publications. Tell me when you are inside a newsletter publications. Good? Good. Okay. Awesome. Now, if you need help, you need to put your hand up. The comments are going, I feel sorry for the team right now, right? Good for you. We asked you to be engaging, but you got to raise your hand, okay? Raise your hand if you need help, just like Miss Carrie just did. Okay. And the team's on top of it. All right. So here's the thing. What you want to do is come over here. These are all publications. I think you know that now. You're going to click on this button that says Add Publication. Okay. And whoever put this little red thing here to drive me nuts. Okay. Let me know once you've done that. Okay. All right. Now, see where it says select logo? You're going to come over here. You're going to click that button and go ahead and put in your logo, whatever it is. I don't even know if I got one here. Let me see if I can find something. Go ahead and load your logo, and you're going to go ahead and type in your name. So let's go ahead and do this. Let me show you real quick, and then I'm going to have you guys do it. I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to do this. And by the way, is everybody going to get this done today? Okay, I'm going to put this one here. Okay, there's my logo. I got too much padding there. Hold on, I don't want to use that. I want to set the right example. Let me just come in here. I'm going to grab somebody's logo in here real quick that I like. I like this one. So let me go ahead and grab this. Okay, so I don't want a lot of padding. I'm just gonna do just like this. Okay, I don't even want the digest there. All right, good. So let me go ahead and save this bad boy. Save, delete, okay. All right, now look, we're gonna come over here and I'm gonna load that logo. I'm gonna do this pretty quick and then you guys are gonna do it. And by the way, it doesn't have to be perfect. And the reason why is because we can go and fix it afterwards. Okay, so I got the logo here. So the name of it's gonna be Coffee Lovers. Okay, for your URL, put anything right now. We'll put a sign up page there later, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put link.com. I don't really care, right? So go ahead and put that there. And then obviously my main topic is gonna be coffee. So go ahead and put coffee there. And let me explain the publication tag. You heard Perry talking about segmentation, everything else, and how we're gonna be emailing out of our system and everything. This is really important, but what I recommend you do is just do something that you can recognize. Do like an N-CL for coffee lovers or something. So that means newsletter-coffee lovers, or I could do like newsletter-coffee L like this. That's fine as well. For the description, understand other publishers are going to be reading this. You could just copy what I do right now, right? This is a newsletter, all focus on coffee, right? Clearly the greatest commodity on the planet. All right, so we'll do like this. And then remember, we talked about the sending schedule. I'm gonna go ahead and send Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You can change this too. Come down here to your categories. I'm gonna go ahead and do food and drink. I'm gonna be, for my demographics, pretty much mixed. My audience is gonna be this, and my income level is probably gonna be this. If you don't know these, it doesn't matter. Just go through, fill it out, click add publication, and I'm gonna give you guys 5 minutes to do it. I want every single person to struggle with what I just showed you with, push through, okay? Because it's really, really important that we get this done right now. And I'm gonna put the timer over here for 5 minutes. I want every single person to do this right now. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a post while we're doing this real quick, okay? And I wanna get this done today, guys. So let me come over here, let me make a post in the group. I'm gonna do it on my phone right now. And I see that the team is over here getting everybody into the chat, which is great. But let me come over here and I'm going to say, comment down below when you complete your publication, when you create your publication, okay? This is what I want to know. I want you guys to comment in the Facebook group when you have completed your publication. Let's see if we can get everybody to the finish line. If you don't know what your URL is, just put link.com, put ebay.com, but it doesn't really matter. Don't let it stop you. It stopped you before. Create your publication. There we go. So we're down to 4 minutes here, guys. Jenny is done. Samantha is done. Philip is done. Do me a favor, Brittany, grab that link, put it there in the chat so that everybody knows where to comment. It's inside the Facebook group. All you're going to do is click that button that says create your publication. Okay, and then go ahead and comment in the actual post in Facebook, guys, when you get this done. Not on Zoom, but inside of Facebook. Okay, where do I upload the logo? You're going to click on the blue button in the right, and then you can go ahead and upload your logo. So let's see, Pira is done, Adriana is done, Amir is done, Susie's done, Dustin's done, Oliver's done, Kale is done. Good. This is what I'd like to see. Let me go ahead and put this up on the screen here so that everybody sees where I want you commenting. I want you commenting right over here, guys. There's a post right here in the group. Let me go ahead and open that up here. Where is that post? Where can you be? Okay, right here. Oh, man, everybody's saying done, but where's my post? Okay, here we go. Respond to this post. Okay, Brittany put the link in the chat here, guys. This is the post right here. Let me see if I can get this to open on this screen. Hold on just a minute. Here we go. All right. Comment down below when you create your publication. So far, we got 34 people done, guys. There's 204 people on the call. I want more than this. So Jenny, congratulations. Samantha, good. Philip, done. Pierre, done. Adriana, done. Amir, done. Susie, done. Dustin, good to see you, buddy. Done. Good, 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 good. Keep commenting here. Oliver, done. Kale, done. Olive, done. Carrie, mastermind member. She is done. Dennis, done. Chad Drew, done. Good, good. Keep commenting. By the way, guys, come in here. Click the like button. Let them know. Aaron, done. Charles, done. Karen, done. Carlos, done. How long we got on the timer here? We're down to 2 minutes here, guys. Let's get it done. This is not a hard thing to do. Ed Harder is done. Chris Bauer is done. Brian done. Jason done. Robin done. Good. Let's do this, guys. Ruben is done. Janet's done. Lori Hyde, mastermind member, done. Jack Turk, done. Priscilla Brooks, done. Melissa, done. Mastermind member. Jason, done. Eric Hammond, done. Ronald Yu, done. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to refresh it. Let's see how many we got. We got 203 people on the call. I heard 2 people left. They couldn't take the heat. Right? But let's see if we can get you done. We're almost halfway there, guys. We're at 76 comments, man. We're cheering for you. We want you to get this done. So comment here in the chat. Let us know when you're done. If you are done, hang out there just for a minute. Dawn is done. Kenneth is done. George is done. Philip's done. Sienna's done. Brian Neff is done. Good to see you, Brian. Mastermind member in the house. Shauna is done. Another mastermind member. Rich is done. Robert Bala is done. Mark Becker is done. Jeff Yo is done. Mike Turek is done. Scott Finley, good. Good, 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 good. Daniel Reed is done. Loretta says easy peasy. Jim Phillips is done. How many we got here, guys? I want to get you all to the finish line. How many of you are annoyed with me right now? All right, let's see. 87 comments. All right, I get it. Let's see. Who else we got? Let's see. We're giving lots of love here. Where are we at here? Come on, guys. Let's get it done. This is not a hard thing to do. Remember, there's going to be rewards for the people that take action. All right, here we go. Jason Laird is done. Chris Matthews done. John Nichols is done. Jeanette Sims, mastermind member, she is done. We're down to like 10 seconds here, guys. Connie Miller is done. Kelly's done. Angie's done. Mastermind member, one of the leaders of the mastermind. Mike Mundo is done. Dan is done. Curtis is done. Jim Phillips is done. Man, if I can get at least halfway, I'm happy. Scott Steele is done. Deborah's done. Emery's done. Samantha Hill is done. Amber Laird is done. Eric Guy is done. Good, good. JY is done. Alonzo says done. Richard is done. Another Ignite member. Yeah, go ahead and tell me if you're an Ignite member. Tim Bratton is done. John Bingham's done. Guys, this is incredible. Let's see how many we're up to. We're at 203 live on the call right now. Booyah. Halfway there. Good deal. All right, now, here's the thing. That is the easy one. But how many of you now know exactly what you need to do from the start of your branding, getting clear on your niche, clear on your marketplace, how to monetize? How many of you know exactly how to set up as many newsletters as you want? Every single one of you, at least 103, let me refresh it, should know exactly what to do to set up as many newsletters as you want. And guys, I'm letting you in on our business. That's exactly what we plan on doing. And the rest of you 100 that for whatever reason didn't create your publication, I highly, 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 highly recommend. I've made a lot of people successful. Perry's made a lot of people successful. I highly recommend, if it's pride, if you're saying, I'm not going to do that when he told me to do it, like whatever reason you didn't do it, go do it. Like, just trust me on this. I got your best interest at heart. It's the reason why we build software like we do, so that we can do these kind of calls to get you to the finish line. Okay? All right, now let's come back on over here and let's see. That's how that's going to work with the group. Now that we've created the publication, now it's time to actually create our newsletters. So remember what I told you. All we're going to do is we're going to go over to the actual publication itself, and we're going to click on Add Newsletter. So this is probably going to be the publication that you just created. Is everybody now seeing their publication there, yes or no? Yes, good. Come over to these 3 dots, and let me just go ahead and tell you this, okay? This is where you're going to add a newsletter right now. This is where all of your published newsletters, older than today, are going to be. This is where you're going to set up your domain. We're not going to get into that right now. We're not going to get into your profile URLs. This is where you're going to edit what you just did. Remember, I told you, look, does this tell you anything? We got a name, We don't have a URL. We got a topic. We don't have a tag. We don't have a description. We have a sending schedule. We don't have categories. We don't have nothing marked. What does that tell you about the MVP in our business? Let's get it out there as fast as we can. Let's find out what works. Okay. Every single one of you should learn from that. So now look, somebody's saying that you can't see my screen. You can see my screen, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So look, you're going to come over here. You're going to click on this button that says add newsletter. Okay. Can everybody please do that? And what should happen is it should look exactly like you're seeing right here on the screen. Type in the chat. Let me know if you have seen that. Yes? Okay. Now, how many of you are saying it's too big? Is it too big? Then come on over here to branding and just go ahead and shrink it down. Get it to where you want it. Okay? Now, I can put a top bar here if I want to or not. There's all kinds of stuff you can do that we don't need to talk about right now. But just go ahead and size down your logo. And if it's not perfect, that's okay. That's okay. Right? I see the team is sitting here helping some people. That's great. Okay. Now, from here, and I just want to make sure everybody that actually created their publication, you're seeing this, right? Okay, here's what's going to happen. All right, I'm going to make this very, very easy for you. How many of you are actually going to create your newsletter today? And you're going to showcase your newsletter today. And we're going to open it up on this call and we're going to show people, and it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to do this today. Here's what I'm going to recommend to you. And some of you are going to jump ahead to do this, right? Go find a relevant video and find 2 or 3 articles. Now, how many of you are crystal clear on your niche, your marketplace? Like, we know that one, if I come down here, let me find the one I just created, which is this one right here. We got the SEO content queen, sneaker peeker. Okay. If you're clear, when I click add newsletter, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and shrink this down a little bit. There's the one that I literally stole. I promise I'll delete it when it's done. Obviously, I'm clear on coffee, espresso, Java, right? Mocha, caramel, macchiato, grande, breve, upside down, or latte, right? I'm clear on all that. You need to be clear on your terms, okay? Because what's going to happen is we're going to be able to use those terms to generate content, but something that's very, very effective, especially with local communities, is we will drive traffic to other people's site. Because remember, we don't necessarily need the traffic to go to our site. We can, but what are we after to get acquired, folks? What did I tell you at the beginning of the call? What do all those companies, what are they after? Clicks. So it doesn't have to be our own click? No. And your goal starting out, guys, I don't want you to have to go. Some of you, how many of you are thinking, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go create a blog. I'm going to take my blog post, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to have the software write this little teaser article, and then I'm going to send it back to the blog. How many of you are already thinking that way? Somebody out there is thinking that way. Don't think that way. Let's take content that's already proven. We can go out there and we can use, somebody tell me the name of that. Man, my mind went blank. Somebody tell me the name of the service that already goes and finds the winning post. And what's that called, Brittany? The big one, not Feedly. Well, not Feedly. I don't know what Feedly is. What's it called? Where they not SEMrush. There's a service where they tell you, here's the top tweets, here's the Facebook, here's the, somebody give it to me.
I think that's SEM Rush. Oh, BuzzSumo.
Oh, I was not going to sleep. Thank you so much. BuzzSumo, right? Think about that. You could look at BuzzSumo. I don't know what their plans are or anything else. I know they pay ones, free ones, whatever, but there's sites like BuzzSumo that already tell you this is what people absolutely love. We can also find that stuff out from Facebook and Twitter and trends and all kinds of cool stuff. So if we're posting what people already love and we're leveraging other people's content, we're essentially sending them traffic, so they ain't going to hate on us or nothing. This is really effective in local communities. Then guess what, guys? We're just trying to build up the opens and the clicks. Scale of 1 to 10. Is everybody starting to get this right now? Yeah, Angie says BuzzFeed. There's the other one. How many of you are starting to get this right now? Yeah, Perplexity. We're talking about AI. Perplexity will tell you all kinds of cool stuff that I couldn't even tell you about because I know very little bit of, right? But I know Perry's talking about that a lot lately, right? So there's Perplexity, there's ChatGPT, there's all this cool stuff out there where we don't have to create our own content. Everybody get in this right now. We don't have to create our own content. So now, 3 articles. How many of you can come up with 3 articles on this call? Go open up freaking Google, go look in Google News, go do a search. Like if I come over here and I don't even know what I'm going to type in, right? I'm going to type in something like coffee secrets from home, like something totally abstract, right? And then, yeah, it's wanting to do all this local stuff and everything. So 11 tips for brewing from home. How to make great coffee from home. 5 tips to enjoy. Look, is this not the perfect
Drinking
video?
coffee every day didn't work for me.
Is
but
this
I
not the
couldn't
perfect video? That's an advertisement. Hold on a minute.
figure out why.
Okay.
Until I went from 184 to 123.
All right.
One
Here
of
we
the
go.
common-
All right, this guy, I'll make it famous, right? So look, I'm gonna come over here and let me go ahead and grab this right here. Hold on a minute. Let me put all this here. Look, I'm gonna take Notepad here, guys. Look, and there's my video. Okay. Now let's go see if we can find 3 pieces of content. By the way, this is exactly what our VAs do every single day. Every single day. And depending if it's the gun niche or if it's survival life or whatever it is, then we give them a list of resources that they can use. Russell, maybe you can jump in there. The politics one, right? Do you remember the resources that we gave them for that?
Let me make him a co-host so he can unmute.
Oh, I'm sorry. I screwed you up. There's one. Let's try
Russell,
this.
you can unmute now.
Okay, I'm good. So I posted Judge Report. You're talking about where we get the politics information every time, or
This example, yeah.
yes, yeah. So super heavy on that. And they kind of flip some of the items. So like, you kind of look for like, what is it like? And I've lost a few of them.
Brown sugar, what do you call that? It's a Hispanic, it's a Mexican coffee. Cinnamon sugar coffee. I got this coffee from Cafe de Ola. All right, let's try that. Cafe de Ola. Man, that's the best coffee in the world. Just any coffee lovers on the call, right? Homemade recipe. Right, I'm just totally winging it here, guys. But look, I've already got 3 links and 1 video. How many of you got that already? Who's already got this? Oh yeah, we can look for cat poop coffee. That's a good one. That little critter thing, right? Let's look for that. It's not a cat, but it looks like a cat. Cat poop coffee. I know some people are like, what? All right, hold on a minute. There it is. It's that guy. So let me find an article on him. Poop coffee. All right, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so look, I got 4 articles and 1 video. How many of you got it already? Type in the chat, let me know if you got it. Who's got it? 3 videos, 1 article. That's it, guys. It don't matter. You can have 5 articles, you can have 2. I don't care. I'm just trying to show you that you can spend all the time you want coming up with this here, or you can just go fast like we do and be just fine, right? Okay, so if you got it, let me kind of walk you through the software. And by the way, scale of 1 out of 100, how we doing on the call? We doing good? We doing good? We got 1,000, 1,000, 100, 100,000, 1,000. Good. Okay, good. Man, I'll tell you, these are challenging calls. Getting you guys to use and be with a piece of software is not the easiest thing, right? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. This is where I want you to pay attention to, okay? Because we're inside the software, and there's lots more that you're going to be able to do after this workshop. We're going to get into RSS feeds. We're going to get into where you just memorize a template and it just creates the newsletter for you. But right now, you need to know how to do what you eventually want the automation to do, or you want your VA to do, okay? You need to understand this process. So if we come over here to this potent bottle thing, this I can't remember what you call it. I've got a blank chemical bottle. There's 4 blocks here, okay? Now, the one that we use the most is this one called link teaser. So I'm gonna go ahead and just drag this over here just like this, and I want you guys to do that as well. And what's gonna happen is it should put a button right here on the screen, right? At least hopefully it does for me. I don't know, I wanna make sure I refresh the current version. Hold on. I had him do something up here. I had him change this My Publications before I got on this call to make it easier for you guys. So it's gonna say link teaser, okay? Now watch. If I go ahead and click this button here, okay, then all I want you to do is I want you to put in your link that you just went and grabbed. So for me, I'm gonna go ahead and put in this link here that says brewing from home. Let me go ahead and grab this. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this right here. Okay, so as soon as I click this button, this opened up over here and it says link to summarize. And I'm gonna ask it to place a CTA at the end. Okay. Now, how many of you are here? And remember, if you need help, then raise your hand. And by all means, if you think you know what to do, if you're like, okay, I get this. I get the link teaser, I get the articles, I get the videos, go create your newsletter because we want to see what you come up with. But watch, all I'm going to do is come over here and I'm going to click on create article. Okay. And then when I do, it's going to go through and it's going to create an article just like that. Now, the purpose of the link teaser is to get the person to click to read more. So look, exploring the best coffee brews methods for your home cafe. This article, right, discusses 6 popular methods for brewing at home: pour over, French press, aerial press, drip machine. And then there's a read more button that'll take them right to the article. Right? How many of you have already done one? Type in the chat, let me know if you've done one. So now look, now we're gonna come over here. This time I'm gonna do an article review. And this time I don't need a link. It's just asking me for keywords. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in Kopi and then Luwak and then gross and then expensive and then coffee. And then I'm gonna go ahead and create an article this way. Okay, and let's see what it comes up with. The controversial elegance of Kopi Luwak luxury coffee. Now, by default, if I click this edit button here, it's setting these words for 100. This is a 100-word article, supposedly, right? I can make it longer if I want to, but we have found that to be the sweet spot, right? So now I've got 2 articles there. Now, let me come over here and I'm gonna go ahead and do one more link teaser. I'm gonna put it right at the top. And this time I'm gonna go grab that recipe. So let me go ahead and put this here. I'm gonna click set content and I'm gonna paste this here. I'm gonna say place call to action at the end and create article. Okay, now look, I've got 3 articles there. 2 of them are linking to those 2 links. One it created from keywords. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna go ahead and drop in this one that says video. And I'm gonna click on set video. And now let's come over here. Let's grab this link here, this YouTube link. Just go ahead and paste it like it is. You don't have to remove anything. Just paste this big, long, ugly link and click update section. And now we have a video. So we have a video thumbnail that's linked to the video. And then we have our articles down here. And how many of you can do that? How many of you can do it? I can't slow down because I'm already on the 2-hour mark and we still have a whole nother task to do. The good news is you have the replay and you can slow me down as much as you want. Right? Okay, how many of you have done what I just showed you? Good. Most people are done. Good. And I see the people that are struggling. I knew there was going to be some struggles. Brittany, make sure you have them do a hard refresh just in case. Cause I made a big no-no and I asked him, this used to say newsletter publications up here. And I was getting on the call and I said, man, let's change this to say my publications because it's gonna be easier to. I probably shouldn't have done that, but have them do a refresh, Brittany, if they had any problems, then everything should be good. All right, now, here's what I'm gonna do. I want you to go through and I want you to explore some of these different things all the way up to a smiley face. And I wanna see what you guys come up with. Are you up for the challenge? I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. I want you to create the most amazing newsletter that you possibly can. I want you to do it in 5 minutes. Because if we can get this done in 5 minutes, guys, how many of you are now like, you know what? I could get a newsletter out every day. How many of you are now believing that if we can do this? And by the way, this is exactly what we do. This is exactly what we do. Okay? So let me come over here. Let me make sure that I'm still on track here. How are we doing, Brittany? We doing good?
Doing good. Perry just hopped onto the call also.
Perfect. Okay, great. So here's what I'm gonna do, guys. We're gonna go ahead and take 5 minutes. And then I know that Perry's gonna get on here and show you some stuff with the logo and everything. But here's what we want you to do. I see the team is helping the people that need help. Everybody else that's got this, go create your newsletter. Okay, I'm gonna reset this to 5 minutes and let's get this thing done. I'm gonna come back over here to the group and I'm gonna make a post. And let's see who has their newsletter done, okay? And if you want, just go ahead and tell me if you got it done, right? So let's see. Who has created their first newsletter, okay, in under 5 minutes? Now, not to say that you always have to create your newsletter in under 5 minutes, but I'm trying to show you that it doesn't have to be as complicated as you think. Okay? So now watch. I'm going to go ahead and click post. Here we go. The team is there to help you guys. Put your hand up if you will. The comments don't do good. You need to raise your hand if you need help. There's so many members of the team that are here to help you. Okay? And this is the same software that we use, that our mastermind members use to pump out 19 newsletters a day. So we know we can get you to the finish line. But let's see what we got. People are already saying, yes, I got my newsletter done. I'm going to go ahead and count them off here. Let's see how many we got. We're 3 minutes and 50 seconds, guys. Look at this. So Samantha has hers done. Ed Harder has his done. I'm going to get into some advanced features here, but I want to show you the very basic functionality. So Brittany, would you grab that link that's inside the chat, please, and go ahead and paste it in the group. The question is, who has created their newsletter in under 5 minutes? Do you see that, Brittany, or you want me to send you the link?
I'm getting it right now.
Okay, perfect. So she's going to put the link in the chat. I see a ton of people have already commented in the chat here on Zoom, but I want everybody to comment here in the Facebook group. Okay, just like Samantha did, just like Ed did. Let me come back over here. Let me refresh it. There we go. Here they come. Dennis Scott, done.
I was gonna say, any chance that you can demonstrate pulling over those widgets, those blocks into
I'll do it afterwards. I'll do it afterwards.
Oh, that would be awesome. I think people needed that.
Yeah, I'll do it afterwards. I'm trying to make a point here, how many people we can get done in 5 minutes, and then we'll review it again. Just with the basics. Eric Guy is done. Eric Hammond is done in under 5 minutes. Brian Neal is done under 5 minutes. Carrie Twig is done. Melissa Pohl is done. Amber Laird is done. Good, look at this, guys. Charles Major is done. Kale is done. Jim Phillips is done. Chad Drew, good. All right, everybody's telling me, hold on, let me go back up there. People are now telling me when they're Ignite members, please let me know. Chad Drew, congrats, Ignite member. Jeff Yo, Ignite member, he is done. Ruben is done. Robert is done. Jet Lee is done. Angie Norris is done. Richard Taylor is done. Mark Joven is done. By the way, the trivia question, Mitch, is amazing. Don't let the cat out of the bag yet, buddy. All right, so Philip is done. Martin Priest is done. Richard Fedry is done. Good, good. Matt Barron, super easy. I love this software way better than fooling around with Beehive. Ooh, look at that testimonial, Perry. Lee Valentine is done. All right, let's see. Jenny is done. We're down to 1 minute, 35 seconds, guys. Amir is done. This is awesome, guys. This is freaking amazing. All right, let's see. Where did I leave off? Hold on, man. They are just pouring in. Dustin Yo is done, mastermind member. Olive Oliver is done. Lee is done. Daniel Reed, mastermind member, is done. Jason Laird is done. Mark Kinnebrew, Ignite mastermind member, is done. Dave DeWindle, Ignite mastermind member. Richard Ostrad, a mastermind member. Susie Kane is done. Teresa Robinson is done. Mark Becker is done. Guys, I'll bet we're getting close to halfway there. How many of you are thinking, you know what, this is freaking incredible. We got a minute left. Let's see how many of you can get done in under 5 minutes. Look at this. So now there's no excuses to get out your newsletter. Mark Becker is done. JY is done. Adriana is done. There was I think there was like 103 of you that completed your publication. So those are the newsletters that we're looking to get done here. Let's see. How many were you at? We're at 35 seconds, guys, and I'm going to do a review for you, but let me go ahead and keep calling off people here. Hold on a second. What do we got? What do we got? Let's see. Philip is done, added an e-commerce product too. That was fast. Philip, you're letting the cat out of the bag, man. Keith is done. Steve Timmons is done. Ignite Mastermind member. Good. Good. All right, let's see. We're down to 10 seconds. 10 seconds, 10 seconds. Let's see. Steve Timmons is done, mastermind member. Pierre is done, mastermind member. Good. How many at? We're at 50. Man, it was a challenge, guys. I won't lie to you. This is a freaking challenge to be able to do that in under 5 minutes. And the final number, let me show you right now. The final number, Rob Renee got in there. Yeah, we're right at 48 comments. We almost got 50 people to create their newsletter in under 5 minutes. How many of you just learned something about this software? Because the reason why I wanted to do that is because there's a lot of talk about how does this compare to Substack or Beehive or this or that or this or that. Well, first of all, I think we built an easier, faster piece of software. There's lots more that we're going to do with this. But also, how many of you are seeing the value in being able to create multiple publications? That's the point I'm trying to make for you. And the other point I'm trying to make for you is if you were able to go out there, find your links, find your video, create your newsletter in under 5 minutes, guys, then imagine what you can do when you have a VA that you can go out there and hire for $3 or $4 an hour, and their only job is to bank on these newsletters. How many of you are starting to connect the dots? Those are the dots I want you to connect. Okay? Now, for those of you that are like, oh my God, he's too fast, please slow down, this is for you. Okay? Basically, what I just taught was 3 things. I taught you how to drag this block over here and paste an article called Link Teaser. Okay, if I click it, it opens up over here. And what it's going to do is it's going to write me an article just like this that encourages somebody to click this link. Because remember, what are we trying to get with our newsletter? We're trying to get clicks. Okay, that was the first thing. The second thing that I taught you was this one called article review. And with article review, this is when we went over here to this Kopi Luwak, this poopy cat, right? And all I did with this one was I just gave it some keywords. And if I look at it here, the keywords were Kopi Luwak, gross, expensive coffee. And it went through and it did this article real quick. Okay, and I can make it, I can now come in here, I can run it again, I can change a prompt, I can do whatever. But if I click on update section, then what it's going to do is it's going to go through and it's going to rewrite this article and it'll make it closer to 200 words. Okay, and then the third thing I taught you is this right here. See, if I click it, it took me over to this YouTube channel. And is it bad that we just sent somebody over to YouTube, guys? Is that a bad thing? No, because we're after clicks, right? We're clearly after clicks. So what did it do? It went and it pulled in this video here, okay? And then it linked the video for me. So believe it or not, would you guys be happy just doing link teasers, maybe an article? You don't even have to. You can just do everything link teaser and a video. Would you guys be more than happy with that? Do you think that you could create an amazing newsletter with that? Yeah, very simple. Well, now look, I don't see, except the dog niche, but I didn't see anybody, the same two people trying to promote the same dog, which is very unusual, right? But the dog niche is like the only thing that's anywhere near competitive, but you're still not competitive, right? Well, what we can do, I'll come back over here to this one, but right now I want to focus on the ones that you're going to use the most. If I click on this second article here, actually, let's click on the third one, which is this smiley face. Believe it or not, this one here, guys, is like what you would find with a regular funnel builder or whatever, where you can drag your own text in, you can drag your own headline in, you can drag your own, you can put images in. Banner ads doing something pretty cool. I'll show you here in a minute, but I don't feel like I need to waste your time with that stuff. Okay, that's just typical page editor stuff, but it's there. The one that I want you to focus on is this smiley face. Now, notice that we have this term here that says coffee. The reason why it says coffee is because when I created this publication, what did I tell the software the newsletter was about? Coffee. So what's going to happen is your main term should be there. And what that allows you to do is that allows you just to drag any of these blocks over here, and the prompt will just go grab this term and it'll just create it for you. So if I were to come over here and if I were to put quote of the day right underneath this video, you're going to see that it went and put life is short, drink the good coffee. Very simple, right? Or I can regenerate it. Life is too short for bad coffee, okay? So we can drop little quotes in there. We can drop, let's see what happens when I drop a secret hack. We haven't used this one in a while, but if I drop secret hack in there, let's see. Use a pinch of salt to enhance the flavor of your coffee. How about if I go and drag in interesting facts? I'm gonna put it at the bottom because I might need to put a title on it. Let's put it right here. Interesting facts. So now what I could do is I could go ahead and put a title above it. I could also put a title when I do the actual drop. But look at these facts. Coffee was originally discovered by a goat herder in Ethiopia who noticed the energizing effect it had on goats after they ate the coffee berries, right? So I could very easily come in here now that I've read that one and I could say, did you know, right? And I could put ... or something like that. I can change the font color. I can do all that. I can also come in here and I can look for food and drink. And let me see if I can find like a coffee cup or something. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. And I can go ahead and say, did you know? And I can put this little coffee thing here, right? The first webcam was created in Cambridge to monitor the status of a coffee pot, allowing researchers. Look at that, man. That's totally interesting stuff to me, right? So we can do fun little stuff like that. But one thing that we figured out, it was kind of a secret, we figured it out by accident, is we could go ahead and put a trivia question at the top. Okay, which country is the largest producer of coffee in the world? And then what we can do is we could come down here and see how it says answer at the bottom of the newsletter. We could come down here and we could just go ahead and put the answer at the bottom, just like this. And the answer is Brazil, right? Pretty simple, but we can modify the prompt if we want to. But how many of you on a scale of 1 to 10 are starting to understand how to use this software? Is Perry still on the call, Brittany?
Let me check.
How
Yep.
many of you have been trying to figure out this
I
software?
am.
Oh,
I am on the call.
how you doing, Chief?
I'm doing better. Sorry. I had a bit of an incident, as you know. So I'm doing better. And I got disconnected from the web. It's kind of weird, but I knew you had today. So I'm glad of all days for that to happen. Today was a good one because you're the man when it comes to this part of the process, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good, man. Did you see
Yeah,
every
it looks like it.
under 5 minutes? You see how many people created their
I
newsletter?
did. I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah, I mean, but some of you needed to go through that experience. Because this doesn't have to be a complicated process, right? And we figured out the complicated processes. We figured out how to do this with all the different software and landing pages and AI, and we figured out all that stuff. And this does not have to be complicated. The most important thing, guys, and I want you to write this down, and this is why I told you when I said, what is your sending schedule going to be? And a lot of people said daily. What did I tell you? Send it out once a week first, then send it out twice a week, then send it out 3 times a week. Because here's the most important thing. Let the software do its job, guys. People will love your newsletter. If you don't believe me, if you've been using Letterman for a while, guys, will you please type in the chat that you're getting subscribers, that you're using the newsletter every day, that it's not taking a lot of time, it solved a big problem for you. It's a big pillar inside of our Ignite Mastermind, right? Look at what Angie says. Watch, the comments will come in here in a minute. This is the most important thing, guys. It's consistency. You're going to have a registration page on the last day. You're going to have these widgets. You're going to make all these promises to get somebody to give you their email so you have a subscriber. And if you tell them that this newsletter goes out 3 days a week and you don't get it out, guess what? You've now lost credibility. And you probably won't be able to get it back with that subscriber. And we now understand the value of the subscriber and what they're worth, especially when we're looking at getting acquired, right? So consistency is the most important thing, right? I want everybody to type that in the chat here. Consistency. Now, here's the other thing. It's not just consistency with your newsletter. It's also super important with email today that you're consistent with your email because Gmail is watching that, okay? And they'll reward you for being consistent, putting out good content. Guess what a newsletter is, guys? It's great content. Great content. Look at the comments coming in. Brian Ness says Florida Keys newsletter launch, 601 subs, 1 times a week. Very easy, 5 minutes to set each week. There it is. There it is. I don't know. Sandra commented, I think that she had 600 subscribers. Sandra, who did the newsletter on the sourdough, like every time I turn around, there's somebody in our Ignite Mastermind posting about a new newsletter. I didn't know it was out there. And they're like, I got 600 subscribers. I got 1,000 subscribers. Like, it'll work. And everything that I'm teaching you, everything that we're teaching you is exactly what we've been doing with our mastermind members. Okay?
I think I think these guys will find that once you're used to this, just to add even another level of ease to the process, we talked about a little bit, I think the day before yesterday, about the difference between a newsy newsletter and a magazine newsletter. That you've got news newsletters that are considerably more difficult to do. So those are newsletters where at 4 o'clock every morning, we're up with a team or somebody on the team, an outsourcer is up, checking to see what news happened that day, writing our slant on that news or rewriting that news and putting out a newsletter that's actually a newsletter, right? Well, there's not really a lot of news in coffee. There might be, but likely there's not. So really those kinds of newsletters are really, in my opinion, more magazines than newsletters. And let me tell you the great news of that. If somebody's into coffee or sourdough bread baking or French bulldogs or whatever they're into that thing just as much as they're into learning the news every day. As a matter of fact, you'd probably be a hell of a lot happier person if you read much more about French bulldogs than you did actually watch the frickin' news, right? But the thing is, once you get this down, and I see that probably half of you guys or a good portion of you already have this down in this very, very, very short lesson. So by by Friday when we're back, I think that everybody will have this process down, or almost everybody. If you have a problem, we'll definitely help you through customer service and other training to get you where you need to be. But the great news about a magazine is you can stack these things up. And I don't know if Chad's already showed that or if he's about to show it, but you can stack these things up and say, look, on Saturday morning, I'm going to get up in an hour and I'm going to make all my newsletters for next week. Or I'm going to spend one day on a Saturday, 3 or 4 hours on a Saturday, and I'm going to make all my newsletters for a month and stack them up in the system and queue them up and get them ready. And then you're done with all of your content for an entire freaking month. And that newsletter is done for a month in just a couple hours time. That's not only achievable, you'll be wondering what you're going to do for the other second hour, probably. It's actually really that fast to build these things. So to be able to put out publication like this on a daily basis used to be just an enormous amount of work before Chad came up with this software. This is like the magic aha of the production piece of this business. And if I were you, I think most of you are doing more magazines than news. The only things that are newsletters are usually like sports, politics, finance, things that change day to day, moment to moment. But coffee lovers, it's more of a hobby thing. It's more of a copy lover, even career things. Those career things, there's not giant swings in that business on a daily basis. So you can do that much more planned out, 30 days out. You don't have to be so dynamic about it as to be breaking news. So think about that. If you can get up and spend an hour a week, I'd say at an hour a week is a lot of time to make 7 days worth of newsletters. I think it's a whole lot of time, as you've already seen demonstrated here. And Chad has a way, he's amazing, irritating as hell sometimes, but he has a way of kicking you in the ass to show you should be able to do this. Look, there's 50, 60 people, 80 people on this call that did this in the first 5 minutes of a brand new software. It extracts excuses from you. There's no real reason that you can't do this now, and you know that as well as we do. And I'm proud of you guys that have popped up and done this publicly. I'm just as proud of you guys who haven't quite yet, but are almost there, because I know by the next call, you guys will have this nailed. Chad, I'll go back to you.
Yeah. Well, this is about the only time I get irritating, because I know what it takes to get people to the finish line, right? When you have
It's great to have somebody to do that for you. Like I said yesterday, don't necessarily, I know, like, and trust this person. Trust somebody enough to tell you what you need to know, even if you don't like it. And it's really the secret of a great mentor. Great mentors, great coaches aren't always behind you going, attaboy. They're actually, I love this saying, an old buddy of mine told me one time, says, just remember, a kick in the ass is still a step forward. So sometimes we all just need a little kick in the ass.
Yeah. Well, regardless, it's working, right? It's working. I get super excited when I see this, guys, because like I said, I like building software where I can put people on a call and make things happen that fast. And all of our software, everything that we have in the Ignite Mastermind and everything, it's all built this way. We could do this with funnels. We could do this with email. We could do this with quizzes. You'll be super surprised what we have, right?
Where you don't need a guy. When Chad and I've talked about software before, and he said, what do you think about this? I said, man, the number one thing is, I don't want to buy nobody thinks about this. I know so many people that go, well, I bought this piece of software. They're cheaper than the other guy. They're only $300 a month, and this other software is $1,000 a month or whatever. Yeah, but you got to hire a full-time employee to run that software. If you got to, if you got to pay somebody $100,000, 70 grand a year, 50 grand a year, 100 grand a year, wherever you are in your world, to go run the software for you, what you saved on the software is irrelevant. It doesn't matter at all. You've got a salary, and even worse, you have a dependency on somebody who controls your business because they know how to do a thing that you don't know how to do. And now you're literally linchpinned onto that person, and they got you by the short and curlies. you don't have to do that anymore. This is it. This is your freedom, right? I hope, how many of you guys, I want to ask a really weird question. How many of you guys here feel like if you really, really needed to, and this is all you are doing, could publish 10 newsletters a week, 10 different newsletters, right? Now, how many of you think you could make a newsletter make, I don't know, a couple $100 a week? Absolute, almost abstract failure, right? Well, think of that. These folks that are answering this with affiliates, this with any kind of monetization, a couple $100, it's falling off a log, right? There's no surefire way to make money. There's really no surefire way to make money. But this is a really, really doggone high probability way to make money because you don't have to kill it, right? X times Y. If you want to achieve a goal, say, okay, I got this to do X. If your goal is say $2,000 a week and you got this to do $200 on a newsletter, well, guess what? X times Y, X times 10, there's your goal, right? So I just think this is such a great opportunity. I'm so glad that we get the privilege of sharing it with you. And I want to thank you for your trust and following through with us to do this. I really, really, really do.
So, Perry, man, I would love to take a look at some of these newsletters that were created. Would you be interested in seeing that?
1,000%. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let me see. Can we,
Vodka tonic, do it. Do it. Vodka tonic, do it.
where's today? Okay. So if you want to grab that link, Brittany, and put it in the chat. Let's see, can we see your newsletters you created today? Newsletters you created today. She'll put that link in the chat. If you'll just give us your link, if you just click that little eyeball there, like if you look at this eyeball right here, it'll give you, can I see that outside software? I'm trying to
And
think.
don't worry about it being perfect. You know, come on, man. This is your first time out. Pat yourself on the back that you did something. When there are going to be certain people on this call, they're going to sit here and listen and actually not do anything. So don't be proud of yourself
Hey.
be proud of yourself that you did. Right. Showing up is 80% of the battle, man. You miss every ball you don't swing at, you miss.
Okay, let's see if I can find that link. I know she posted it here. Okay, so Brittany posted it in the chat there. Hold on a minute. Let me just grab this real quick. This is a moment of truth. This is what I'm excited to see. And hopefully these are going to be super, super motivating for other people on the call that just refuse to do anything. So look, we got 14 comments already, right? So let's open this up. See if I can see this. So the Muscle Muse, Fitness Hustle Legacy, trivia
That
question.
looks fantastic.
Video, doesn't it?
It looks amazing. Who to whom does that look like a great, fully flushed out freaking newsletter? If you got that in your email tomorrow, if you were into muscle and fitness, because I am. What? Get out of here. I got no muscles. I'm just kidding.
Right?
My only muscles are in my toe. But who would not think that was a professional looking letter? I think that's awesome, man. That's super awesome. Who did that?
That's great. Okay, let's see. So Eric, good. Brian Neff. All right, big Florida Keys guy, right?
Don't be showing off, Brian Neff. Come on.
401k building wealth one contribution at a time. You know what surprises me about Brian Neff? I don't know why he doesn't have a freaking newsletter for the top 100 resort locations around the freaking country, right? He's already figured that out. And now you're going to building.
He's been in that wealth building 401k business. That was his primary business when he came into this. He's been in this business for a really long time. I think if I'm not, Brian's on here, but I'd be curious if Brian is on, if he could speak up. If you get one client out of here when you send a newsletter for 401k, what's that worth, Brian, to you? If you can hear that, if you want to, oh, he's muted. Well, we've been trying to do that for a long time, Brian. Just kidding. Can you unmute Brian? Brittany?
Probably need to put your trivia, oh, you gotta answer a trivia question at the bottom. Yeah, this looks great, man. Let me see. I don't
Did
know
you get
why
unmuted, Brian?
he doesn't have his logo. You don't have your logo at the bottom. See how the Muscle Muse has the logo at the bottom?
You
This
can
is
put a footer down there. I think that's good. I also really like putting at the bottom. We're gonna have.
There you go. I'm in.
There we go. Look at that. Yeah. So what's if you get a client out of this newsletter, like if one of these people responds to you and buys whatever you're offering in a 401 space, what do you make off one client?
Well, let's put it this way. There's two ways to offset this one here. First one is a subscription to a 401k account management program, which charges 1% per year per the account value. So on $1 million, you're talking $10,000 a year. So
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about a couple of things. I know that we're going to be talking about getting subscribers. I think if I'm not mistaken, Chad, on Friday's call is building. It's going to be partially about building your subscriber base. Is that correct? I don't want to speak out of turn. I already have, haven't I?
if you're gonna help me with that. We still got a lot of buttons to push, but
Well, one of the reasons, my friend Matt Paulson, it's interesting, the guy that's doing 130 million a year with his newsletter Market Beat. Not that you would borrow his name there, Brian. But but he makes a lot of money as soon as the customers subscribe. As soon as they subscribe, he makes an introductory offer to them, but he asks permission first before he does it. It's really smart technique, but he's making money oftentimes within 5 minutes of people subscribing to the newsletter.
talking.
Yeah, really pretty fantastic. So you can get back a lot of your recuperating the investment you might have from that. So thanks, Brian. I appreciate it. I just want to demonstrate that what one subscriber could be worth.
Yep.
Brian's one of our mastermind members too with Ignite. Incredible guy. Goes to all our events and everything. Let's see, Matt. All right, Matt Barron, Morning Patriot. Man, this is gonna kill right now, Matt.
Dude, that's tight right there. That looks like it's been published for 10 years. And it's cool because you got that screenshot out of there. You take advantage of a lot of this layout. That looks fantastic, dude.
Yeah, here's what we've learned, guys. This one image right here, which is a thumbnail, is good enough.
There should be a headline directly above that video. That's the only thing I see wrong with this at all. There needs to be a headline directly above here because people read more than they watch. Watch grabs the eye, then they're going to read what's generally above it. And then the footer that you put under the caption that came underneath the video is really, really, really good. Because if you read studies about newsletter publications or about newspapers, people read number one, number one, they look at the pictures. Number two, they look at the headlines. Number three, they look at the captions under the photos. Those are the three most read things in a news story. If you're reading USA Today or Wall Street Journal or whatever, those are the three most read things. And then the body copy is third. So get those three things right and you've won 90% of the battle.
Awesome.
If you look at Drudge Report, you'll see that like they hyperlink the headline too.
Yeah. Ed Harder. All right, let's see what we got. I love it. So far, I've loved every single one I've seen.
I mean, has anybody here seen one of these yet that they think that doesn't look professional enough to run?
They just look so legit.
I promise you, the ones of you guys that aren't here that have been sending emails to your list in the past probably didn't look nearly this good or have this much interest.
Yeah, this is great. All right, let's see what Priscilla has. Crocheting Fun Profit. Tribute question, video.
I'd love to see that icon. I'd love to see your logo be a little more iconic. Can I talk about that for just a second, Chad?
Please.
Remember this, 85% of the people who see your newsletter are going to see it on their phone. And we're using narrow, thin fonts that are difficult to read on desktop. They're practically impossible to read on the phone. So just keep that in mind. But yay for you for getting this thing out, because this would still go out and still be read and still be very popular. I was nitpicking a little bit. I probably shouldn't be. I want to encourage you and congratulate you for actually pulling the trigger and getting something done.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, Eric Hammond. Eric Hammond. All right, let's see. Is that gonna open? Here we go. Why outdoors? I don't know what you think of the logo. I don't care for the logo all that much.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't really like, if you look in Canva, they've got fonts in there that are called, they call them display fonts. Display fonts. And display fonts are typically the fonts used in headers and logos. And they're typically bolder, they're typically a little fatter, and you'll get something out of there. Is whoever owns this on right now? Why Outdoors?
Eric Hammond. Yeah, Eric's a great guy. He's a mastermind member too.
Yeah.
Dude.
And if you want me to send me that one, Chad, let me make a note of that. I'm gonna do because I was starting to do some stuff on logo, but it's gonna interrupt the flow of today. So I thought what I would do is just make a video of me remaking a couple of these logos that we thought a little that could have been a little bit better, and show you how I would address it in a video. Would you guys like that? And I'll just make that and post it into the group so that you guys will have it. Why?
Here's a good example. This was the reason why we were telling you to get your header correct. Why you didn't want to have backgrounds, why you wanted it to be horizontal. Like, is everybody starting to see this right now? And good for you for getting it done, for sure. Whose was that?
Yeah, and we're not designers. I mean, the vast majority of people, Chad has the design of Ray Charles. He really does. I'm just joking. He doesn't really. I used to joke with him about that. When I'd see an ugly design from Chad, and his designs have gotten a lot better. I say, man, you got the design eye of Ray Charles. That used to be my joke with him. And he would tell me some things that I could go do to myself. That's been an ongoing joke. I'm not a great designer. I'm a B minus designer, but you know what? B minus has got me by. All my life is I B minus because I'm out in 5 minutes. I'd rather be B minus than out in 5 minutes than to be moving little pixels around and screwing with stuff. And 3 weeks later, you still don't have your newsletter.
You know what's interesting? I liked this logo the first time we saw it. We saw it in the group, but now it ain't working on the newsletter.
It's off balance. If there's an icon, the icon's not shaped right for the piece. I would have used an ampersand instead of an and there. I could let me screenshot that. So I'll know to go back and work on that one. So I'll work on that one too.
Martin, I see your question. Raise your hand. They'll get to you. So far, I've been told there's been 8 issues that people have had, and Russell just sent me a message saying we fixed all 8. So the team is here to help you, right? But you got to raise your hand.
Smoking.
Yeah, that's great. And thank you, team. Let's see what Jenny's got here. Jenny. Oh no, this was Jenny's. Okay.
By the way, if you think if you think you might have landed here in the wrong place and you're fairly new to the business, I'm looking at this screen right now and I've seen 3 multimillionaires that I know that have been around this business for 10 years or more. They're sitting right here in this class with you right now. At least 3 that I see on my first screen of people. So the people that are making a lot of money are very, very much into this too. That's not bad. I might have the no woo-woo letter might even be better. You don't the no and no woo-woo letter would be interesting. I love the no woo-woo piece because there's people like me. I'm always I joke about it. I'm not a woo-woo guy. I'm very outspoken about it. And I think there are people out there that the no woo-woo people are really no woo-woo people. There's a guy that has a book called Personal Development for Smart People, which I love that book because it implies that other people are dumb, but it implies that people that personal development people are dumb, but this is different because it's for smart people. So everybody thinks they're a smart people, right? Versus whether they are or not, they all think they are. So it plays to the ego really, really well. So I like this. I like the idea of this. I think the balance could be a little better. But the letter looks pretty good. I would just have my video in there. We've found that video is the highest use of engagement. Listen, when you're sending this out, we want Google is measuring the behavior, okay, of every one of your people. When they're opening an email, Google's measuring the behavior of what they do. So if they come in and get your email and immediately go, "Ooh, that looks interesting," click that and go off the email into something, Google goes, "Wow, they're sending out useful content to their people. We're going to give them a much higher deliverability score tomorrow." Does that make sense? Does everybody kind of get that?
I love this one. Melissa,
It
she's
looks
one of
beautiful.
my
For the market you're in, couldn't be better.
yeah, she's incredible. She does such a great job. Yeah, that's just beautiful though. Yep. Yep. How many of you are getting some ideas by looking at other people's newsletters that were created in 5 minutes? Like if she actually spent time on this, right? But if she actually spent 10 minutes instead of 5.
Well, you can stylize the colors of your links. There's a whole lot more that you can do. And when you dig into the advanced features in here that Chad probably doesn't have a chance to show you yet, there's a lot of advanced features. And I'd say we're averaging once a week, we're putting some other advanced feature in there that you can add to the newsletter. We were talking the other day about putting thumbs up, thumbs down icons in there and share buttons and social media buttons, surveys. So all that, over the next few weeks, as the software continues to develop, or the next few months, even, you're going to see more and more and more of those, I call them engagement boosters, for lack of a better term. Engagement boosters moved into here because we just want them to do something. There's like 8 ways that Google is measuring whether you have a good email or not. And the easiest way to get people to take those actions you want them to take is just tell them to do it. Just make it visually appealing or ask them to do it, right? We want hey, can we get your opinion? Man, everybody wants to give their opinion, right? So when you ask people for an opinion and they take a quiz or a survey, even if it's a 1-question poll, right? Just a 1-question poll, a yes, no poll, right? Now they've engaged. They're like, look, you think about it. If you're dating, again, I go back to dating all the time, same stuff.
Here it is.
Huh?
Here it is.
No, but if you're dating and you go out to a bar, well, what are your odds of picking up the girl or dating the girl who never speaks to you, who you never have any interaction or conversation with? The odds are 0, roughly 0, right? If you can get her to shake your hand, if you can get her to say hi, if you can get her to, "Hey, do you like the band?" "Yeah, I really like the band." Dude, your odds of getting to know that person or date that girl just went up by 1,000%. That's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to get a little bit of engagement. And I don't know a soul alive on this planet that's better at creating gamification engagement devices than Chad Nicely. I think he's the best in the entire industry. And there may be software developers out there in Silicon Valley that can make more fancy schmancy tools, or whatever. I don't know. They got a little more advanced this or a little more advanced that, but they don't understand the human element of software design like Chad does. And I think this is, a lot of the stuff that's in here is stuff that I've always wanted, but no other software company's ever been able to give me because they didn't have it. So now I get to say, "Hey, Chad, from a human standpoint, I really would like to do this with the people that read or whatever." And Chad goes, "Oh, okay, I got a way to do that. Give me a couple of days." And then, we'll have it. And that's what really makes, I think, I guess I can say our software. It's not really our software. Chad builds the software. He's brilliant. But I think that's what makes these applications really stand out. And like he said, not just this application, but Mintbird, our shopping cart application, and Quizforma, the quiz software application, and Revolvers, the sales for application, and all the other tools that we built and are building. They all follow a couple of things, increase the engagement of the audience or conversion of the audience and make it so anybody can do it and you don't need a guy. And I think, man, if Chad's ever proved that point, he's proved it today.
Trying really hard. Logo's off. It doesn't look like a header to me. It just looks like it's an image.
It's a little too small for one, and yeah, it's and what's really weird is when you're using that's called a serif font, a serif, and a serif font means that the letters have a foot on it, where a sans serif font, like if you see become a power couple that doesn't have feet at the bottom of the letters, that's a sans serif font, means it doesn't have feet. So you know, serif fonts tend to be a little bit better most of the time because a lot of the text you're going to have going down your letter is serif, is sans serif. So you don't really want to have a lot of different font examples in your letter. You want to have as few fonts going down that letter as possible, and one display font, and then everything else being the same font. Usually there's kind of a 2-font rule in any design document that you really don't ever want more than 2 fonts. Like this one is fine. You had a serif font in your logo, but you don't have it down, you know, further down the thing. So this looks good.
It's interesting to me. I've learned something about putting the icon over here. It's always going to offset your title.
It looks so much better in the middle. And if you notice I think every logo that we have pretty much, and you know, there doesn't always have to be an icon, guys. Look at some of the biggest fonts in the world. Willet Magazine, right? Think about that. Entrepreneur Magazine. What's the icon for Entrepreneur Magazine? They don't have one. What's the icon for Time Magazine? They don't have one, right? So you don't always have to have an icon. It's not really necessary. If your words are descriptive of what your thing is about, you don't necessarily even need an icon.
Yeah, this one you got a banner at the top. You don't have a
Yeah,
header.
that's more of a banner than a masthead, and that's where I kind of finally ended up on that Hunter's Creek one that we were doing earlier. I found a way to do that and make it better, and I'm going to give you a prompt that I'm using to make that, because that I kept manipulating that and I just couldn't get it to look right, because it was just, oh, see, that looks great. That looks good. You know, and if you're into Carolina shag dancing, you're probably going to love that. I would move that video up though to the top. I do a headline. It's a formula like, you know, header, headline, video, caption.
That's good.
That's really good. That logo looks awesome.
It's interesting how much they're using borders. We hardly ever use borders.
Yeah, the borders are okay. They do tend to break the eye line, but if you got a different feature in there, I think it's good to use borders. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It stylizes a little more. It's up to you guys. Guess whose newsletter this is? Is
Yeah.
yours.
Don't have to listen to us.
If you like borders, you know, if you like borders, good on you. Or if you don't like borders, good on you. It doesn't matter, right?
I like the video, but whenever I see this,
You need a tagline so bad for that, because you know, what the hell is channel lightning? Channel lightning's okay if let's say channel lightning is about, you know, multiple channels of marketing. Some, you know, coffee lovers logo, you don't need to explain what that's about.
you could even do something like that. Like it just
Everybody gets it, but everybody gets it, but that doesn't mean that the Bean Baron wouldn't be a bad one either. You know, you could have coffee lovers or you could have the Bean Baron, but if you're going to have the Bean Baron as your logo, you need to explain the newsletter for coffee lovers, right? You're going to have to explain what the Bean Baron is to people, where you don't have to explain coffee lovers. And guess which one's right? Either one of them. Just remember that if your logo and your brand is not incredibly descriptive, you're going to need to add a little tagline underneath that explains exactly what it's about.
Yeah, good advice. All right, Samantha Hill.
Power of every day. That's kind of okay in this weird metaphysical space. Like, not weird, I shouldn't say that, but the power of every day. Ooh, what is that? You know, because it is somewhat evocative. I'd still have a tagline under that saying what it is, and I would move that that you got, one of the things you guys are doing is making the icons really way too big compared to the text. It should be roughly half again the size of the text. So it shouldn't stretch out more than half. In other words, if your text is, visibly an inch tall, like that one's pretty good. See how that kind of works? I would actually like that between the two words. I think it would look better centered, because Chad's right. In the newsletter, there's something about it throws your eye off, right? The cruisers, see, you have a Voyage Vibes, the cruiser's best friend, right? Or something like that. But if you move that ship between Voyage and Vibes, you'd have a centered, more more balanced look to the letter. Because everything else in your letter, your next paragraph is centered, but it looks like your top headline is sort of left justified. So it kind of throws the eye off. But you'll figure this all out. Would I not send that until I fixed it? Absolutely not. I would send that thing out tomorrow morning.
It's interesting how really our main critiques are just up here. It's
Yeah,
like,
the rest of the letter is easy. I mean, that part's just branding. You're going to get that nailed down. And you know what? If you don't, guess what? Here's a crazy idea. Send that, I am a pain-free, whatever. Send that to some guy on Fiverr, and for $10, they'll make you a great looking logo if this is absolutely not your thing,
mhm.
right? But don't stop. Send your letter out first. Go ahead and get started, and then say, hey, I'm sending this newsletter out with this logo. Improve on it for me.
Mhm.
Right. And if you don't want to do it yourself, if it's just not, if you're just, some people just aren't really visual people. Pavement Profits, that looks fine. Some people just aren't visual people or aren't great with a visual design. Nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's a whole lot of stuff I'm not good at. Yeah, but I get by getting other people to do it for me. But you don't have to spend much money, as Chad will show you with see, like the Mini Lovers Club, you're left justified bad. That needs to be centered. And that graphics is not right. You could fix that by just screenshotting. Show them how you would screenshot that in proper, yeah, right there to screenshot that. Now guess what? You got a new logo. So if you go back and replace that with a screenshot, all of a sudden that thing's going to look balanced and good. Same logo, nothing changed, just that.
Mhm. I've seen newsletters that have looked a lot worse than these that have gone on to do millions of dollars.
I get them in my email every day. That looks nice. Looks really nice. I love to grab the screenshots on typically grab screenshots of videos. One of the things, can I show them something really, really quick? Can I share something real quick, Chad, if you don't mind me sharing screen? Because what was that video about?
Which one? The last one?
Yeah.
This one, subliminal meditation or something?
Now that one that had the success key on it,
Yeah, it's this one.
what was the title of that video? What was it about?
Boost your career, subliminal binaural meditation to be successful and happy at work. It's your topic. It's your
Okay. So if I go to YouTube, I'm going to show you guys a searching trick in YouTube. I'm giving away what I'm doing on the Hunter thing. I don't do that. Okay. So I don't take chances. Okay. So it's subliminal meditation. Is that what it's about? Subliminal meditation,
yes.
right? So look, which ones of these thumbnails look better than the one you have? Well, the answer is this one looks great. This one looks great. But you can go here and just choose any one of those. So if you want to make your newsletter better, just pick a newsletter that has a better thumbnail. And if you want to know for sure, here's another little trick. Over here on the right-hand side, are you guys seeing my screen, by the way? Yes, no, maybe?
We're
Yeah.
seeing it.
Okay. Over here in the right-hand side, you'll see this little button that says filters. So if you click that and you go here and sort by relevance, you can sort by relevance. So this is what their thing is most relevant to you. The upload date, I don't care about unless it's news. View count. So here's a video Let's see. These are the videos that have gotten 17 million views, right? Obviously these mystical images are really popular at getting views. Do you think that if they got 17 million views that people like them or didn't like them? You know, look at this one. This one got 45 million views. So you'd have a video here that 45 million people like, and then one of my sneaky little tricks is this one, because your audience may or may not have seen this, and maybe they say, "Oh, yeah, I've already seen that." So here's a great trick. If you go here and you go to ratings, it's going to pull up the videos by the highest ratings. They may have that many views, but they're really rated high. So people 4-starred and 5-starred them. So they're going to be really good. And they've got this is a way more evocative image than the one that you had just used. You didn't know that trick. So it's not your fault. But look at this. You can absolutely send, if you think about it, if you're sending out data tells you this is the best possible freaking video that you can send out that people are the most interested in on that subject, then your odds of making your people really, really, really happy when they get that video are incredibly high versus you just randomly picking something, right? So I hope that helps. Most people don't know that you can sort by that. So you can go here and sort. You can go by duration, the quality of the video, 4K, HD, right? You can search by video channels. So like that subject, what's the best channel for subliminal meditation, the best channels for that. And it's going to pull them up by the best channels, by the playlist, by the movies. So here's whole and look at this one, Minds in Unison, 579,000 subscribers, probably a pretty good channel. So it's really easy to sort. I'm always trying to sort out stuff that people have already, that the public has sorted that data already. The public has already sorted that data for me and given me, this is market research that you don't have to pay for. It's totally free, right? It's totally free. I'm going to show you another trick while I'm in here really quick. Subliminal meditation. If you go to Amazon, you're going to be able to come in here and see some book titles that can give you the sleep learning system. Sleep learning. People really like that term. So books are selling. So the name of your newsletter might need to be the sleep learning letter, because people are not necessarily looking up subliminal meditation. They may be looking up sleep learning. That may be a bigger term. We a couple of years ago, I was about to buy fashiontrends.com, and they wanted $150,000 for it. And I started looking up fashion trends to see how many people look fashion trends up. There was something like 7,000 a day. I ended up buying cuteoutfits.com for $3,000, and it got 100,000 searches a day. So be sure that your title you're using is the vocabulary that your audience is using, not necessarily just the vocabulary that you like, right? There might be a much less formal vernacular that they're into, that you might like. Vermiculture, right? Vermiculture is worm farming, but nobody searches vermiculture. Everybody searches worm farming. So if you had the vermiculture letter, people would know what the hell that is. If I tell you the worm farming letter, you know exactly what that is, right? Does that make sense? Chad, you can take over again. Sorry about that. I just wanted to point those couple things out.
No, it makes so much sense in the world, especially to pull in proven content, right? I was talking about BuzzSumo, BuzzFeed earlier.
Yeah, BuzzSumo, if you can afford it, it's expensive, but God, dog, it'll show you the most shared content in your subject up to the last year of what's been shared the most, what was the most viral. So you can almost be sure that that's going to be delivering to you amazing, amazing content.
Yeah, let me share something real quick. I'm having something done real fast so I can demonstrate this. But Yeah, let me share my screen again. We got just a little bit more to go. I know we're going a little bit over. There's actually one more thing I wanted to do, but we'll get on session 3, no problem. But if I come back over here, number 2, let me go ahead and cover this with you so that you know, right? So let's talk about mailing your newsletter. Now that you guys understood how to create it, and remember, my goal was not to teach you everything that you can do in the software. My goal was to give you enough confidence where this wasn't going to take you a lot of your time. It wasn't complicated, and you're going to get in there and figure out everything you need to know to send this out as much as you want to and create as many newsletters as you want. That was the whole goal, right? So if I can look at the chat over here, if that was the goal so far, we got another day left. Did we actually achieve that goal? Did we achieve that goal? Do you have enough confidence now where you can jump in there and figure out all the pieces you need because you have the base and you have the belief and you have the foundation? Okay, so let's talk about mailing your newsletter, right? So I've got some important things to share with you. First of all, you have to know we're doing this a little bit different. We built this so that you can take an existing list and re-engage or engage them with your third-party autoresponder. So I can remember this one time Perry made a post on his wall and he said, hey, we've been really focused on email and we figured out the code to having perfect email deliverability and da-da-da-da. And it was like crickets. And then we were sitting down talking and we came up with a different hook. We said, well, what if we went out there and said, hey, we can teach you how to re-engage your list.
How to bring dead emails back to life.
Yeah.
That was the hook.
525,000 people. And then it went, if I remember, it was like almost 1,000 comments, right, Perry?
Yeah, it was pretty insane.
So one of the things that we figured out was in a great way, a great tactic to re-engage your list that hasn't been active is with newsletters. So our first goal was, okay, let's create the newsletters that will re-engage our list. So we built the software to do this. That's the first thing you have to know. Any autoresponder you're using, I'm going to show you this here in a minute. You're going to be able to click a button. It gives you the straight line HTML. It gives you the subject line. It gives you the pre-header. And then you go and mail it out to your list. And that's exactly what we've been doing. Remember I told you we had a special VA that would go and click a button and send out our newsletters every single day, all 19 of them. That's exactly what we've been doing, okay? The second thing is we built this out so that you could automatically mail from your system using the very best in email deliverability. Now, here's the thing. I already told you guys that there have been some major changes in email as of February of this year. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing another little 3-day workshop teaching you exactly how to get set up with all your email, your DNS records, and then get set up in our system. And what I'm hoping is we're partners with probably one of the greatest email experts in the world. I'm hoping she's going to come in and help us with that workshop. And the reason why we want to do this is not only can you send out email from Letterman, but you'll also be able to use the same email to send out from our funnel builder, from our CRM, from our quiz tool, and from everything else that we build. And it's just one simple setup, but there's some steps that you have to go through, and they can be kind of complicated for people that aren't techie. And so we want to do a workshop where you're going to show up, get everything done, and by the time you leave, you're all set, ready to send out email. Is that making sense to everybody? So right now, this is just a screenshot that I grabbed where we're going to cover on the third session that you're going to be able to use for your co-reg. But to be able to send out your newsletter to your autoresponder, pretty much any autoresponder that is out there, you're going to be able to click this button, copy the code, and send it out to your autoresponder, which is exactly what we've been doing. We've done it with Go High Level. We've done it with Maripost. We've done it with Campaign Refinery. I think we've done it with GetResponse, right? And then we have members that do it all the time with their newsletters, all right? Is everybody understanding that right now? Are y'all understanding that you're going to be able to send this out right now via your existing autoresponder, which was super important that we had that ability. We didn't want to just force people to use our autoresponder. Now, remember earlier when we set up this publication here? How many of you remember this? I'm about to show you something truly remarkable, and I think everybody on the call that's not aware of this is going to just be like, are you freaking kidding me? We went and created this publication tag earlier. And remember, I said, okay, so mine's on coffee. I'm going to make it like NL, which stood for newsletter, NL-coffee or NL-C, whatever, right? So we created this tag. And what's going to happen is, remember how we've been talking about advanced email segmentation and everything to be able to do with our software, and not just this software, but the whole suite? What if I told you there's a whole entire system behind this one that is a massive email queue to be able to handle all the sending in the system? And not only be able to handle all the sending, but be able to tell you when you have a good grade, like an A, B, C, D, F, like when you went to school. If you're doing bad things with email, you're going to get a bad score. And we're going to restrict you from doing things until you improve your score, because we don't want you to destroy your domain. Everything is policed for you. And it's kind of like we give you a set of training wheels and ensure that you're going to be able to ride that bike, right? So this tag right here, guys, is going into a CRM. Now, I don't want to get into a lot of detail because y'all are about to freak when you see this, but I just kind of want to give you a sneak peek and make sure you get connected, right? So this is what's going to happen, okay? How many of you are seeing this little G in the top right corner of your screen? Are y'all seeing this little circle that says G? Okay. Now, I want you to go ahead and click that. What's about to happen is we are going to connect Letterman to your CRM that is being gifted to you today, okay? And I'll go into what that, we call it global control. I'll go into what it does at a later date. But right now, understand that you're either going to see a window that looks like this. How many of you are seeing this right now? And it says, we did not find a GC account matching this email. So it's looking at the email that you use for Letterman, and it's seeing if you already have an existing GC account. So it's going to say, we did not find one, or we did find one. Now, if we did not find one, and you don't know of any other GC account that you may have, then just go ahead and click this button. Okay? And as soon as you do that, your software is now connected to your CRM. And not only that, if you go and choose to pick up any piece of software that we have, or you join our Ignite Mastermind where everything's included, then guess what? All of your software connects to the same CRM, right? Now, you may see one that says, we did find an account. Make sure that's the account that you want to use, because you're not going to be able to change this, because I don't want you to screw this up. You would have to mail support and say, hey, I need to link my CRM differently, right? Because you won't believe everything that it's going to do. And you can always click this link right here if you want to link to a different account. If you know you have a GC account, that's okay. This window will open up and say, okay, go ahead and log in. So the takeaway here, guys, is all of your software, when you become familiar with Mintbird, when you become familiar with Quizforma, when you become familiar with Revolver, when you become familiar with Poplinks, I know all this stuff's foreign to you, but you will become familiar at some point, especially if you like this software, because this software is pretty light compared to what we're doing in Mintbird. Then you're going to be able to connect this same CRM inside of all of it. So scale of 1 out of 10, is everybody understanding this right now? Is everybody getting this? And the reason why I want you to connect, it's an integration center too. And our goal is to have 3,000 integrations. But the reason why I want you to connect to this integration center, you've never seen this before, is because all of your email for all of our platforms are all managed from here. And so you're going to see that you have a grade. You're going to see that you can choose as many domains as you want. You're going to have overall statistics. It's going to tell you when you're blacklisted. It's going to tell you how your sending's doing. It's going to tell you your reputation. It's going to tell you everything. And you guys don't need to understand this right now, but what you do need to do is just make sure that you clicked on this. And when you did, that little pop-up opened saying, do you want me to connect an account? And you did it. Or do you want me to create an account? And you did it. And if you're not seeing that, just do a hard refresh, do a Control-Shift-R, and you should see that. Now, type in the chat, let me know once you have connected your GC to your Letterman. And if you did that, you're done. You're done. That's it. You're done. And it'll be the same thing in all of our software, guys. You connect it once and boom, you're done, right? You'll love it once you find out everything that it does, but I'm not going to let the cat out.
How about that? That's kind of a welcome to the way that we do things. I mean, you guys didn't buy that. You guys didn't ask for it. You didn't know you were going to get it. And you just got a giant powerful software tool added for you at zero additional charge for anything. And Chad, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, and they when they find out what's going on in there, they're gonna be like, "Are you serious?" Right? So it's good, guys. It's really, really good. So what I want to do is I feel like I kept you guys long enough. Let me give you your homework because it's a tough one. If you would, and by the way, if you do not have that little dot, that shouldn't be the case. It's probably a refresh issue. Put up your hand right now, please. Put up your hand right now, because
Ken says he has a dot, but it's gray. Just FYI.
yeah, so click it and he should be able to connect. Right, Ken's also an existing member, so he might need to clear out what he's doing. But let me go ahead and do two things here, guys. This is really important. I've kept you long enough, so I'm not going to go through everything like I usually do. But I do want to know what your big light bulb moment was today. Okay, so while we're fixing some of those issues there, what was your big light bulb moment, and how did we do on a scale of 1 to 10? And how did we do on a scale of 1 to 10? And can you just grab this post for me here, Brittany, on Facebook? If you would just grab that link real quick. I just want to make sure that we have comments coming in here, guys. That's really important because Perry and I look at these and judge how we did. But while those are coming in, your homework for this session, besides connecting GC, and I'm going to show you the inside of GC, and then you're all going to want to connect it. Your homework is simply, who thinks they know what the homework is? It's very simple. Create your newsletter. That's it. Create your newsletter. Now, once you connect your GC, guys, this is what you're going to see.
That's everybody that's on the platform right now, right, Chad?
Everybody on the platform. And you'll use this for all of our software, guys. All of it. So
You can, by the way, this is so cool because you can take this and put it on a TV screen in your office. Just put a laptop on it, put on your TV screen in your office, and you can look and see everybody who's on reading your newsletters, everybody's on your landing pages, everybody that's in. If you use the other software like Mintbird and Quizforma and the others, for you guys who are Ignite members that get everything, you can see everybody that's everywhere. And I bet we could even color coordinate that eventually, where you see what they were on, what software they're on. I think it'd be really cool. But right now it's really cool. It's engaging for it's really engaging for your staff to be able to look at any given time and see that, or just have that up in front of you. Talk about motivation to move forward. If you look up and you got 100 people or 200 people or 5, like right now, hundreds and hundreds of people that are on different platforms, I think, dude, it's crazy stuff.
Yep. Yeah. And by the way, guys, I'm in a place here in Las Vegas, Nevada, where I have the worst internet known to mankind. This is the fastest.
That's not kidding. He really does. He has internet on he has a can, and he has a tin can and a string that he gets his internet through.
Yeah, but everything I'm showing you here, guys, you just receive access to it. It works with all of our software. And I plan on, if I have time, if you guys would like to see it, I can just do a brief kind of rundown of our whole suite on the last day if we have time, or we'll do it on the ceremony event, or we'll figure something out. But you guys will see how that all connects. Okay. So good. I see a lot of comments coming in. Thank you so much. I'm going to go through and I'm going to read all these. I would say that today is definitely a success. I just want you to know what the final day brings. We're not done just yet, because what we're going to do on the final day is we're going to go set up your registration page. We're going to add you to our directory. We're going to find swap partners. We're going to link to your autoresponder, which is why I wanted you to connect to the GC. You're going to set up your referral widget, and then Perry and I will have a plan where we will talk about your continued success, not just with our mastermind or anything like that, if that's what you're thinking. I told you at the beginning what our main objective was here, to introduce you to Ignite, but
We've had a lot
also,
of people we've had a lot of people already join Ignite from this group because they got an incentive to do so. So I welcome you guys, and really, really do. And for those of you guys on day 3, I'd really suggest, if you're not going to be able to be an Ignite member, really have all your questions available, because the people in Ignite get us every week, right, for a year. So they're going to be taken care of. If the people that, if you don't think you can do that, or you don't want to do Ignite quite yet, or whatever, have all your questions there, because this will be your opportunity to get your answers on this third call. I would respectfully ask that the people that are Ignite members kind of hold your questions till the next Ignite call, because you got us forever, right?
yeah, good. We'll also have a plan for continued success on the newsletters, so that you understand how to monetize better, how to scale those, right? So all of this will be covered on the third day. There's been some questions about, hey, how do I connect OpenAI? How do I connect my own API key in there? I'm going to show you on the third session. I wanted to show you today, but that didn't happen. So that's okay. We'll get it done. And then finally, if I can get this to open again, if I can't, let me just go ahead and go like this. Yeah, I'll just show you like this. So our next session will be March 8th, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay? March 8th, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And yeah, this training really doesn't need to be 5 days, because we just learned people could go set up a newsletter in 5 minutes once they had the foundation and understood how to monetize.
And remember, when you're done with this, you still got 20 hours of training in the background that details every little piece. Right now you're doing the what, right? When you get into the training, you'll understand more of the how. And I'm sending some videos to the group tomorrow on a little more detailed stuff on logo setup. I'm sending you guys some amazing chat GPT prompts that we use for graphic creation and a number of other things. I just created a new GPT that helps you brainstorm brainstorm your branding and naming. So a lot coming your way that you didn't, again, a lot coming your way you didn't ask for, you didn't pay for, but you're getting it anyway, because that's the way we do things all up around here.
Yep, and just know that we will load this replay right there on the link that you see. That doc is already created, so you'll have session 1 there, right? This will be session number 2. And then, yeah, we'll knock out session number 3. That'll be the big reveal. We'll have some stuff that nobody has seen before inside this software. And I promise you guys, the savings alone, if you were to go add up all the other software that you would have to do what it is we're doing, it's massive, right? So we look forward to the big reveal on session number 3. Perry, man, is there anything that you want to leave with?
Hey, really quick, I got a quick question for your Ignite members out there. How many of y'all think that you could refer this workshop to your audience and your friends, people you know, and get them interested in taking this course? You make $500 every time you do that. You make $500 every time you refer somebody to this workshop or any of these workshops. So, get down on it. Angie Norris, I keep up with those names. Miss Angie is our,
You can't keep up with that. Look at it scroll.
I know, right? I mean,
Don't let him ask you to do the impossible, Angie. That's lesson number 1.
yeah. So Angie, go do the impossible. I'll see you soon.
All right. Well, Perry, man, thanks for hopping on and helping me do this today. I was a little
My absolute pleasure, Chad. I knew that today was all about you, buddy, and I'm glad I was able to throw a few interjections in there and not slow you down. You're probably better off to not have me in there in the middle. So
That was great. It was
it
great.
was worked out. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you being here, and we'll see you soon.
Yep. All right, everybody. See you on session 3. Bye-bye.